Lord of Omens, give me sight beyond sight. Beyond sight. Beyond sight.
What's up, peoples? Another episode of Sight Beyond Sight. Today we got a couple things for you. We're here with the co-host Andrew over here.
You almost forgot his name.
No, I was just.
Come on, fucking name.
I got to get used to it. Apparently. We got Marissa here, who's a recurring guest. You're not gonna say hi?
Hi.
And then that's what I was actually waiting for. People to say hi.
A lot of hostility down there. The backstage drama is real. Like I could feel the energy. I'm like, God damn! I was like, do they want to fucking open the show?
Andrew's been ignoring us all night, so we're a little bit hostile. That's okay.
We're gonna bring you a few things today. We're gonna talk about the new James Wan movie that came out today. Was what was it called? I keep saying I want to say Maleficent, but it's Malignant, and it has to do with we'll get into that. We're gonna talk about Don't Breathe 2, and then we'll talk about What If Episode 5, I think it was, and there you go. So we'll break it down.
Yeah, we got a few trailers.
Maybe a few trailers. We'll see.
Yeah. If anything, we'll spin off and do like a short 20 minutes.
Yeah, that'll be at the end of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get into it. Marissa, you could give the quick summary of Malignant.
As the title suggests, it's about a tumor.
See, I did not know whatever the fuck that word. Malignant. It's gonna take me mad long to pronounce that fucking word.
It almost sounds like he was trying to say enigma.
No, malignant.
Malignant.
Wow. I'm trying
to
Malignant.
Not my ligament.
Malignant.
But whatever it's called, yes, I did not know it connected to fucking cancer or tumor shit.
Yes, malignant.
I'm happy it didn't, because I would have been even less into the energy I had towards the movie.
Yes. So essentially, it's basically about a woman. It's kind of hard to explain because they kind of reveal things throughout the movie, but essentially there is a hospital that they were doing studies on children and about certain ailments that they have. And it's supposed to be this prestigious doctor. And at first you think it's like some supernatural creature or something, or some monster, but it's actually a tumor, which is malignant. And it's attached to a woman who thinks she was adopted by this family, and everything was, and she had a imaginary friend, because we like to watch films with imaginary friends.
Apparently.
It seems to be the thing. So but this imaginary friend, or the tumor, gets reactivated when her abusive husband smashes her head violently against the wall, opening her skull and therefore revealing the tumor back up, and it starts a killing rampage. And it starts to kill all the people who were associated with the experiments and everything like that. And it's just basically becomes, it starts off, you feel like it's like a supernatural film, but then it really just becomes a
almost
more
slasher?
like a slasher,
almost a slasher. Yeah.
And it's very interesting because what winds up happening, and spoiler, but it's I would say it was a decent movie. It wasn't the greatest movie, but it also wasn't terrible. There was a lot of really cool action scenes, and some action scenes where they
did too much.
The
CGI
was it was just, I was so disappointed. Like, there were certain scenes where I'm like, yes, this is really cool, and they got an actor to do a lot of like these backward type scenes, and like it looks almost
contortionist shit.
Right. And like disjointed and everything. And that makes things look creepy. But then there are other scenes where they use it in CGI, and it's like too close, too bright.
It looks like a video game.
It looks like a video game. And we all know if you're going to use CGI in any type of movie, that things are moving fast.
But I feel like that's the new CGI. Like,
but
as
it
we've
needs
done
to be
seen a
dark
lot,
and far.
but
That's
a
the
lot of
only
the
way it looks
CGI we
good.
see now is becoming too much. Where it's like, if we had an 8K television, that's kind of what
What's
it's.
an AK television?
8K is
8K,
Oh,
like,
over.
like
not 8K. like a
like
gun.
an AK-47. I'm sorry, I'm a little ghetto.
like, all right, so if you have that higher resolution television,
You
like,
got a gun TV, nigga. What the fuck?
it will make a different view, like, because that's what
Right.
it was like for that scene, like y'all talking about more
You
or
think
less.
if we had a better quality
It would have.
television,
It probably would have looked a little bit more.
You
or
just-
if we
better
saw
'cause
it
it
in the
would've been
movie theater.
more because like what the from what I've seen from what the 8K visual is so far,
Right.
because I watch it for most of these sports, it's just a higher resolution, like, so it makes it look more realer.
Yeah,
It's like
but
if you're in it type of shit.
sports are real.
Yeah.
We're
No,
talking
but I
about,
get what you're
and
saying.
you're
No,
just
I
dissing
know.
my TV.
No, but I'm
Like that was a
saying,
low key diss. Like my TV's 4K.
'cause, like,
They don't.
if
That
we
movie
watch that
wasn't
visual
8K.
in a better like
Quality.
aspect of a quality,
So do you think if we
because it
would've-
looked cheesy. It looked
Yeah.
cheesy when it shouldn't not have.
But do you think that
So-
if
Yeah,
we
but that was
watched
the
it
movie,
in the
wasn't my
theater,
TV.
would it
No, it
have
would have
looked
still
a-
looked cheesy because
It's
it's not
okay.
8K. Yeah, it's not.
So
There's not a lot of 8K shit out there right now.
So then,
Right.
your thing is irrelevant.
No, I'm just saying.
Don't diss my
I'm
TV,
not
man.
dissing your TV.
It
I'm
has
just
some
saying, I'm
problems.
just pointing it out. Like,
Okay,
hey, my
so-
nigga, my Fire Stick just updated to the 4K
And I
shit.
hate
Nigga.
it. And I hate it.
I was
I
like, what
hate
the
it.
hell just happened? I'm like at 3 a.m. Like, why is this like this? This is some bullshit.
I hate when they update shit just for the sake of
Yeah.
updating shit and they move stuff around. I'm like, it was fine the way it was
Yeah.
before. Just make it faster.
Yeah,
If they could just make technology faster
it'll be
and
better.
just leave the format the way it was, I don't give a shit. Just make the technology
Yeah.
faster. Anyway.
All right, so that's was that
Yeah.
basically the gist of it?
Yeah,
or-
I mean listen, it's a slasher film. It's about a tumor that's in the back of this chick's head.
Mm.
That's about it.
That's
But
pretty much
I
the gist of
mean,
it.
to watch it, I would watch it not for the acting because the acting was shite.
yeah.
But the actual action was pretty cool, and I liked some of
yeah.
the kill scenes.
All
She
right,
loved
yeah.
breaking people's bones. That was like one
Yeah,
of the
the
things. There was
arms
a lot
was
of
like-
compound fractures, a shit ton of compound fractures.
And just to like boast up this movie just a little bit, it's like a supernatural monster slasher.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
It was
very
like
weird like
it's
that.
like
Yeah,
yeah.
a triple thing. But we could go into the ratings, like so.
Yeah, we could do rate. You want to go?
I
we go
would
middle.
say.
Oh, he wants me to do it, but go ahead. I'll let you
No,
go.
no,
No, no,
but
do
then,
it,
Go,
do
Marissa,
you.
go.
Okay.
please.
Okay, so for me, I think on a creepy factor, it wasn't very creepy, but interesting and like I guess gore factor, slasher factor.
yeah.
I would probably give it an 8.
Okay.
I would give it an 8.
I'll go next because
You're right ahead.
he wants me because he thinks I'm like doing
You're
some
cheater. Nah, that,
cheater shit.
Okay,
I know.
okay.
I know
No,
the
I
strategies.
understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I know
I
the
understand what you're
strategies.
Because he's very
Uh,
negative, and I got it.
I'll give it a 6. I think that the acting was bad. The like that big fight scene you could have done really well
Yeah.
was really bad. I thought the concept, well, the storyline was bad. I just feel like you had a concept. You had the good contortionist backwards slasher monster. I like when they showed her as a little kid and it was like a little thing, like a little.
Yeah.
But I was just like, you did a lot of the aspects that were kind of cool. Like
It was
you
a
bring
little,
in,
"Queen, start the reactor."
yeah, open your
Definitely,
mind.
definitely.
But certain aspects are very original and cool. A lot of aspects weren't, like again, like the acting, the storyline, and all that. But some of the action scenes were pretty badass. Like we were talking about, like when you do what they could have done with that main action scene,
Mhm.
is they could have done it with a real person, a real contortionist, and slowed it down. But like filming it slowed it down, but then make it fast paced when
No,
you're like
no.
watching it.
No, you're saying it like have it normal and then speed it up so it looks cooler when.
Well,
You
I was saying
actually
you
see
would
it.
film it slow. Like if somebody's gonna contortion, you gotta like make sure. I don't
There
know.
are
I'm not a
contortionists, they can-
filmer. I don't know. I'm
You're
not a
filmer,
director.
damn it.
I'm just whatever. That's just my opinion on it.
Yes.
But that's why I give it a 6. Like it wasn't great,
Those
but
are
it
the
was
things that hurt you.
Yeah.
yeah.
That was really what got you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do
Go
you
ahead,
think?
go ahead. What do you
What's
rate it?
your, What's your rating?
I give it a 3.
Oh, that was, and
Hot
that's
take.
lower than
Whoa.
almost anything we've
Because I'm
seen.
disappointed in James
Yes.
Wong or
Yeah.
Wu, whatever his name is.
James,
Like,
wow.
my guy, I
Wow,
watched 4 of your
racist.
movies and like
Racist.
I could go back and watch those horror movies and
Yeah.
enjoyment.
Yes.
That's a
like,
fact.
honestly.
Yes.
So I was expecting that. 2, I did think that honestly, if you're gonna start doing like the dollhouse camera angle, like you said,
Yeah.
Yes.
you
Yeah.
should have kept that as a consistent.
Yep.
That
Yes.
would have kept it working.
Because that was pretty cool. I like that.
That would have helped. Like, because I was looking for creepy. Like, I wanted to be creeped out right now when I
Yeah.
watched this movie.
And we were not.
So I'm mad at that aspect because I could have just watched a movie that we just watched after it and been satisfied because
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Oh, action, cool, yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to be scared today. I wanted to go in my car and be fucking scared. Now I'm not.
I don't
I'm more
think I'm
disappointed.
coming more and more to the realization that I don't think that's ever going to happen again.
No, but it could happen. Like
It could.
happens.
We need a new director with fresh ideas, and maybe one
But
day me and
he
Nikki will
makes-
make a movie that will freak people the fuck out.
But he makes a fantastic point because when I looked him up on IMDb, he made the 2
Most scary.
Insidiouses, the 2 Conjurings. He did make Aquaman and Fast and Furious 7.
Mhm.
Well, he made a few movies that were
Yeah.
He did the movies that he
Fuck.
had to do to get the
But
extra money and let the
he's-
studio support him to do this movie.
yeah. He started
Honestly.
the 2 best recent horror franchises ever.
Yeah.
And he started Saw. He
Mhm.
did Saw. So it was just
Right.
like,
The first Saws, right?
yeah. And it was just kind of like you
So-
started you know that he has better quality stuff.
When you put yourself at that level, and I'll use the
Right.
music term, when you drop and you have a sophomore album that's significant to your freshman album,
Yeah.
and then you go into your junior shit, then your senior year, nigga, you better show out.
Yeah.
And you did not show out right now. You
No,
just
that's
you went
true.
backwards,
That's true.
in my opinion. Like the action scenes, don't get
Yeah.
me wrong, but cool, but it was like V for Vendetta with superpowers,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I checked out of it. Like, honestly, I was more into it when I didn't know what the monster looked like or the aspect of the monster,
Okay.
because
Mm.
it made me feel like, all right, it could have a supernatural, some type of aspect to it. Once
Yeah.
I knew it was like,
And
oh,
that's what annoyed
it's a
me
physical
too.
being, then it was
Yeah.
like, all right,
That's
Nah.
that's
See,
what annoyed me too. Was
Mhm.
that I thought in the beginning it felt more supernatural,
Mhm.
which I dig more because with supernatural you can't control it. Like there's no like when it became a physical being, it changes the aspect to me
yeah.
a lot because to me when it's a physical being, it can die.
Mhm.
Now, if it's a supernatural thing, it's not just you can't stab it to death. You can't bludgeon it to death. Like there's so much more that goes into it to get rid
And
of
it
it.
makes more sense to take over white noise, aka radio frequencies,
Right.
to talk to.
Right.
Well, the reason why I disagree with that is because if you look at things besides Saw, everything else he's done has been supernatural. So if
Yeah,
he's gonna
yeah,
change,
no, creepy.
he was
To my point.
yeah,
It's been creepy.
yes, I agree with that because those movies I like, the franchises I like, but the fact, and I think this is where I give it a little bit more props, is that he came up with something original,
Yeah.
and regardless of the storyline and all that bullshit, I kind of like the fact that it was more. What I think that he should have done and what would be better is that he should have kept the supernatural aspect of it a little bit longer, so you're still guessing.
Yeah,
Oh,
nah,
yeah,
it
and
should've
then-
definitely kept it longer, yeah.
And then
Yeah,
make
yeah.
it the physical where it's actually her and she's contorting
That-
backwards.
They
like,
should.
they-
They
that
should
would've
have
been better.
revealed
It's the way
that
they
in the
cut it.
jail scene.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like they should
That
have
would've been a better
revealed that
scene.
in the jail
Yes,
scene,
it would've
Yeah.
been.
and it would have
Mhm.
totally blown everybody's mind.
Yes,
If it was,
that
if
would have
it
been
was,
a big pop.
If it
It's
was
a-
more of like
yeah.
supernatural,
And then you get to
supernatural,
that
and then
part,
and
yeah.
then they get to the jail scene, and you're like, this is weird.
But that's
How are
what
they
will
gonna?
make
And then all of a
the trick.
sudden,
Yes.
then all of a sudden, it's the big reveal of like
Yes.
it's the tumor, and,
And
you're
at-
just like, oh my god, that's so
Exactly.
fucking cool.
And at that point, that's when you could have.
You
when-
appreciate this the shitty CGI and the action scenes that are a little over the
Yes,
top.
yes,
Yeah.
Because you'll get so blinded by oh shit
Yeah.
that you not thinking about it as you watch this bitch do 18 flips
Yeah.
and kill people.
yes.
Like you know, like it
Yeah.
would be what it is. Like
No,
Exactly.
I totally agree with that. Like,
Although I did appreciate in the jail scene, the white trash bitch just like threw bitches at her. So
yeah, that
she
was
could-
funny. I ain't gonna lie,
I
that
just
was
love
funny.
that part.
no, that's a good point because if he, like I said, I feel like the concept was there
Mhm.
and almost the visual. Because at first I was just kind of like the way the camera is going. I was just
And
like, yo,
that's the
this
other thing,
doesn't seem
too.
like James Wan.
Yeah.
But then once they showed the first super, like quote unquote supernatural thing,
Yeah.
and then they started doing like the the noise and the light, and I was
Yeah.
like, it reminds me of
then
Insidious and
I felt
Conjuring.
like he was trying too many things in this movie too visually. I felt like there was so many different like techniques and camera angles, because like, for example, when she's in the living room and they're doing like that what do you call it, the hypnosis thing, they did this weird camera angle where it zooms around.
Yeah,
and
then
did
that's
it
the fuck
back.
play
But it
towards
was
going
like-
back to Insidious, where he did
Right,
the
but
one
he
shot
did it
instead of doing the whole
once,
thing.
Yeah.
and it was like for 5 seconds. And you know what I'm saying? And like, he never utilized it again.
Yeah.
The dollhouse scene, he did it one time.
Nah, yeah.
Never utilized it again.
Yeah.
So
Now
there
what
was
it-
like certain weird little camera techniques or visual techniques that he used, and it was like a hodgepodge. And it was like way too much shit happening. And I was just like, ugh.
I'm changing my score to 5.
But
No.
this is like why we should do scores after we argue.
No,
Before.
it's good to do
argument within the
before.
score, because the
Discuss.
score basically brings in the conversation more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we're all gonna have different, like,
Yeah.
the odds of us all agreeing is gonna be Spider-Man probably, and I still figure
It's
he's
fucking fantastic.
he's still probably gonna be like a 9, and I'm like, nigga, it's like a 12, my nigga. Like, what do you mean? But it's
No,
just
I
what
understand.
it is. Yeah.
But yeah. So
Yeah.
but overall, it could be a good watch just for the experience of it.
It's free,
but
so it's a better watch than paying for it.
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
if you got a HBO Max, you're
You're good.
Gucci.
That
Just
$14 every month. Hey, you got me shitty movies every fucking month. Thank
Yeah.
you, because that ass, like, since King Kong Godzilla, maybe
King
little
Kong
things.
Godzilla was trash too. So
It wasn't trash, but it's more watchable than any other fucking HBO Max movie they dropped.
But didn't we discuss the other one with the guy who
but we
played?
get Adventure Time, so that makes up for it.
You get Adventure. I don't get Adventure Time. I don't waste my time with whatever the fuck Adventure Time is. I don't know what that
It's
You
is.
have
just like
no
a Rick
idea.
and Morty, just more,
No, it
slightly
just
more
looks
kid
even
version.
more stupid. Like, it looks like a straight acid trip. I'm still trying to figure out.
It
why
is
that
an
motherfucker
acid
has
trip,
no
but so
ears.
is Rick and Morty.
No,
Why,
Rick
what?
and Morty's not fully like acid trip. Rick and Morty has a lot more smart
In
jokes.
depth. Yeah.
But that's because I
It's
feel like it's
That
more
show
than
is
and
for
that
four
kids.
jokes.
season-
We just got to be honest about it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
said
of course,
that.
of
So it's just
course.
like, yes,
Yeah.
it's like a Rick and Morty for kids.
Yeah, and Rick
Yeah,
and Morty
alright,
is
I
like,
guess.
to me, this is like his best season so far.
See, I actually asked somebody about that, but he didn't watch the season, so I was like,
Yeah.
but because I heard random, like, because I
Have you
go
watched
through.
any of them?
I watched all of them.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
thing is that
I
I'll
feel
say
like it's ending.
I liked
I
it,
feel like
but that's the part of the issue that's happening.
I
That people
feel like
the
it's
climax of the
coming
seasons.
to
Yeah.
an end, and I'm not mad about it because I think things should end.
It doesn't need to go fucking 20 years. Like,
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be Simpsons. It doesn't need to
No,
be
no,
Family
no,
Guy.
no.
It doesn't
I
need to
think
be that.
I
No.
think if it ends, I'm totally satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
I think their jokes are very on point. I
Yeah.
think their consistency is on point, even with time travel and all this weird fucking multiple dimensions bullshit.
But
and
that's
they
what
keep
keeps
all
it fresh
together.
in its own weird way. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that to me, it's like, okay, if this is the last season, I'm fine.
Just go out with a bang.
But the
Yeah.
thing is, like, well,
I want one
if the season's
epic.
going to end,
Bring Pickle Rick back.
that's what I was gonna say. Like, you gotta have the whole Citadel like kill each other. Like, you had the Morty
Well, most of the
Citadel
Citadel
against
has
the Rick
died.
Citadel. Yeah, like, and like you gotta have like a climax ending. Like, give me a
Yeah.
2 hour and a half.
I want
thing and
the
I'll be lit.
president to come back.
Yeah,
They need to do an epic, like where the president is now owing Rick a favor,
See?
and he's like calling in, the
Fuck, I'm
president.
trying to remember who
the
does the voice for the
presidential-
president again.
The guy from he has a gap tooth. What is his name?
I don't know. I just
Oh
know
my
he's black and I can't
God.
remember.
I can't remember.
But
his
his voice is
name.
epic. But like,
Yes, he has
that's
that
one of the
very deep
things-
voice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, but no, that's I don't know how we got into this argument conversation.
Because
But
we always do
because
this.
HBO Max,
Yes.
HBO Max One is one of honestly the top 3 best apps right now. that
Oh,
I
yeah.
have.
Yeah, it's
Definitely.
Yeah.
well, unless you're
Especially because I don't pay for it.
a Disney fan, like to me, I would say the top. Well,
Well, the Disney Plus
But
app
Disney
only
doesn't have
has.
it hasn't been updating
No,
as much as it
no.
could.
No.
I know
Yeah.
it's only for me as a fan. That's why I said like as
Yeah.
as a Marvel fan, Disney Plus is the shit for me. But I would agree,
Yeah.
like it's HBO Max, Netflix, and
It's
And
literally
Cineplex.
third could be anything. 'cause
Yeah,
it depends.
Peacock or
Yeah, if
Hulu.
you're a Hulu fan or you like Peacock or
Yeah.
you like
Yeah.
whatever
No,
random other app
my
you
new
use.
shit
Yeah.
is watching Ted Lasso. Like that's
What the fuck is a Ted Lasso?
Ted Lasso is hilarious. It's
He sound like a
you-
nigga that runs around just doing this all day.
I don't know. I don't think you would like it. I honestly don't think you would like it. It's basically about a football coach. He's a college football coach that goes over to London to teach soccer.
So it's supposed to be the turn play of words.
Yeah.
Ah.
And he's a
And he wrote
Mr.
other people
Baseball all
in.
over again.
but he's like what they call toxically optimistic. So he's like very fucking
Everything is
happy.
Well,
great.
it makes sense for a 2021 show
Yeah.
to be positive instead of being an alcoholic
Yeah.
cigarette smoker
You-
that goes to Japan and is like, oh, you chinks don't know nothing.
You
know,
really
like,
went 20 years back. I mean,
I'm
you
thinking
was
of
at
Tom Selleck
2000.
Yes,
shit.
yes,
Yeah.
But it's a funny.
He's
it's-
like
it's
2001. I
funny.
mean, 21. Damn, I wish I was young again. I was still in school.
But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's a funny show, but not everybody I think would appreciate it. But it's funny. It's very funny.
I'll have to look it up. I literally just started watching it as we going through our tangent randomly. I just watched a new episode of the Wu-Tang show. I don't know if y'all ever watched that
No,
show.
I watched the
feel
beginning,
like
but
I
it's
watched the
like
documentary. I'm good.
But the documentary is more
Well,
accurate.
it's-
The show
it's-
it's a mixture of like
it's like
facts
based
and
on it. Yeah,
and like
it's
fiction.
It's like
But it's
like a.
fun.
But I'm not
It's-
interested in that.
But
If
it's,
I already
it's a
know
fun
the story,
watch.
I
It's a fun
can't.
watch.
I
Like
just-
I'm not gonna lie,
No,
it's actually a lot
it's-
better than you realize.
The thing is, when I first got into it, I thought it was like a document series.
Yeah.
And then it was like, no, like this isn't fucking happen. Like this person have beef. Like, and then it was just like,
No, see that
no,
would just piss me
it's
off.
but no, it's
Well,
It
there
would
is
just-
it's
it
like
would
a
just
drama.
annoy
It's
me.
it's like a drama. It's just
but
like
the thing is, they didn't really have beef. The thing it was truly they just came from two different hoods,
yeah,
and they made it into more of what it was supposed to be.
yeah,
And
and
they still talk about the actual shootings, like Ghost getting shot, like everything that actually happened.
yeah,
to
it's
them,
a
but they
fact
flip
fiction thing.
certain
They
things,
take
yeah.
certain things from fact, and then they put
They
a little
embellish
bit
it.
drama. Yeah, but not even just embellish it. They put extra story in it
Yeah.
just to make it
a
interesting.
little
Like
more thicker, like to fill
Yeah.
up the.
I think
gaps.
you know what
Yeah.
it is. It's like if I because when I grew up, like I've heard all the stories growing up and all that. It's not interesting to me.
No.
I think if I was more detached from it, like
See, but I get you. But at the same time, like I said, I watched the documentaries too. But at the same,
No,
I don't.
but
But those documentaries, I don't know shit about RZA's real like family shit. So I don't know if what's his name, Joaquin Burdick, whatever the fuck his name is, the guy who plays his stepdad or the guy who pulls up in the first season.
mhm.
I don't know if that actually really happened. And it's like I know RZA did get caught up in shit before Wu-Tang became Wu-Tang,
Yeah.
but like. Did
Yeah, I
that
don't
part
know.
actually happen? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I just
So
have
it's
to
like a
mentally.
weird
I just
part,
have to
yeah.
mentally detach from
yeah,
like
yeah, you do,
Mhm.
you do.
yeah. I just and that's hard for me to do. So that
You know what's really weird though? Like when I watch things that are trying to be, especially like old school hip hop shit,
yeah.
or even like I'll say like between this, the Get Down, and
Shot.
Dave show, the Lil Dicky.
Yeah.
My thing is like I want to see the music aspect because that's what I think pulled me into the Wu-Tang show. Was that you see how
How
again?
they created the
Yeah,
songs
it
and
was just
things
like you see
that.
RZA and
That's
his.
why I loved
thing.
watching
I
the like
get
the
it.
Mary
I was gonna
the
shut up,
Mary
but that
doc.
was-
No, but you
No.
know like the Mary documentary. Did
I
you
haven't
watch
watched
that?
it yet. I
Oh
haven't
my
watched
god.
it.
That to me was like coming to the realization of how she made
She
their
went through
my
a lot
life.
of her whole shit is basically off of her drug addiction originally,
No.
and then most of her fucking abusive boyfriends and shit. Like it get the
Well,
whole
mostly
aspect.
JoJo from
Yeah, from Casey and JoJo. Yeah,
Yeah.
Like, but Casey and JoJo. I mean, well, Casey.
Damn,
well,
he was a good singer.
basically at the
Yeah.
end of the day,
He
they were
was
doing-
apparently he was a fucking
let's
super
just
dick.
put it to at the end of the day, they were doing drugs together. They were no
Mhm.
different than Bobby and Whitney. So
Of
if they
course.
did not point that out in the documentary,
No, they did. They did.
So like,
no,
yeah,
no, they
like,
did. No, but what I'm
like,
saying is
honestly.
like she doesn't go into full detail of all the things that
Yeah.
she went through as a child.
Mhm.
It kind of touched on it. Like you can tell she hasn't fully kind of cut, like she can't fully talk about it in public yet. But it goes into how she made that album and each song, where that sentiment or that feeling
Mhm.
or that where that came from, and Yo, I think I cried so much in that because it was
is
like,
about doing drugs. It's not about a nigga.
No, not every song. Like, I'm saying,
yeah, no, but I'm just saying, like, I'm agreeing with you.
No,
like,
but to actually hear from her how, like, when she's in the studio and how conversations became songs, and how it wasn't just her life, but also the life of like what Puffy was going through at the time with his girl, and what another producer was going through with their girl, and like how they combined it all together and made music out of it, and how you can literally be sitting in the studio crying your eyeballs out and pouring your heart out, singing like she does. And you're just like, that's why the music was so great, because they put their fucking heart and soul into it.
Got you. Trust
and
me.
Like, to me, I even love the album more watching that documentary.
But that's the shit about it. Like, I talk about music a lot, especially I fucking drown him with like music talk. And like everything you're saying is basically like that's how I work off of music. Like we've been talking about the Drake Kanye shit, and like I don't want to go OD into it because I can. But I'll get to the point. Like yesterday, I think it was when we were talking about it, that I told her, I was like, one of the main reasons why I could be like, I fuck with the Kanye shit more. And mind you, it don't have curses on it, and it is kind of religiously. That shit hits my vibe and my mood of who I am right now, Andrew today. Andrew today isn't the Drake vibe, Andrew, where it's like, yo, we're going to strip club tonight. Yo, we do. Like, I don't, no fuckboy energy, no simp energy, no, none of these emotions that Drake was throwing out on his musical album connected with me. So when because people try to say I'm a hater, I'd be like, nah, I don't connect to it. Like, I connect to this positivity because this is the energy I've been trying to rock with for the last few months. Is like trying to be upbeat and be positive. So it works. Like, but certain shit like that with music works that way.
I can always tell when there's, to me, good music is not just, oh, that's a catchy beat.
No, but it's not that. But it's not that. The thing is that wait. No, but let me finish. No. Because I know your thought is going into misunderstanding what I'm saying.
No, I'm not.
Because what I'm trying to say is, I know you're not contradicting, but
I'm not.
Like, because I'm gonna agree with what you're basically saying. Like, what I'm trying to say is, like, when I listen to like the Kanye shit, like, because I know I'm saying Kanye, and it's because he has these accolades. But if you listen to what he's saying on the shit, and yes, he has ghostwriters. Don't get me wrong. Those shit that he says is real shit. Like, he's saying actual real emotional shit. And especially if you actually do respect the aspect of him going through depression and being kind of bipolar. So you understand like what his verses don't have nothing to do about guns, drugs. It's about emotional aspect.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, I haven't listened to both albums yet. But what I'm saying is, the point that I was trying to make is any record, any song or whatever that you can, that there was heart and soul put into it.
All right.
No matter what you can say about, oh, who produced it and who wrote it and who did this, you can tell if that person felt that song.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's, to me, what makes a great song. If I could listen to the person singing it and like, wow, they really felt pain at this moment, or they really felt joy at this moment, or they really felt any strong feeling, that's what makes, to me, a great song.
Those are usually the best songs. Like, sometimes they come out to be like more or less for me, like, I'll say they're B-side songs. Like, I'm not a fan of like, I'm not the one to go to the radio cut. Like, once I get the album, I find a whole bunch of other songs on the album that I fuck with more than the radio play. Like, and then that radio song goes away from me. And it's like, because I find the songs, I was like, oh shit, this nigga's song about real shit about him. Or real shit that connects with what I feel right now.
Or like, that will make you cry, or make you happy, or make you want to punch somebody in the face.
The energy, that's all it is.
Like, and it might not be what you're feeling at the time, but it's just like holy shit, like I can feel what they're feeling.
No, but that's why I'm like, I've had multiple albums. Like, I would say, like, honestly, like, one album off the top, the easy, I could be like, Nas's Life is Good was literally the beginning of me evolving into getting to where I'm at right now. Because when you listen to that album and you hear him talk about all the shit he went through Khalees, throughout everything with Big and Pac, all that shit, you just like, for me, it was just a different aspect where it's like that he's saying, like, he's like, fuck it, yo, I'm old, I don't give a fuck about none of this no more. Like, and it's like, nah, that's how I feel. I don't give a shit about no street shit. Like, I don't care. Like, you know, but you can, like, you connect in a different way. You connect in different ways. Like, I'm not rich, but I know what you're saying. You know, like, But all right, so we're
All
gonna
right,
go
so
from here.
tangent.
No, all right, we went
now
from our
to
tangent.
now
Yes,
to
yes.
the second movie that we watched.
So we're gonna go right now into what is it? Don't blink or whatever the fuck it's
Don't
called.
blink.
don't breathe. Too.
That would be a
Don't
fucking
breathe.
shitty horror.
You know what's
movie.
mad funny? Is that I
No,
kept
because
thinking,
every
"Don't
time
blink."
you blink, like the monster comes
Yeah.
closer to you, so you're like fucking fixing your eyeballs.
And the guy's fucking blind, so you know I'm just putting eyes and eyes together. Like, but I guess don't breathe. A guy who's fucking blind can hear you breathe like Daredevil. So we're gonna go into this movie. We're gonna let Marissa give you the quick breakdown,
Okay.
and then we're gonna give ratings and break it down from there.
Don't Breathe 2, by the way.
Yeah,
not
Don't
not
Breathe
the
2.
original.
Don't breathe too.
Yes. So this movie starts a short time after the first one ends. And the gentleman from the first movie has a adoptive daughter, I guess you can say. He apparently finds her on the street after her her father, I guess, has like a meth lab that blows up and the house burns down and she's found in the middle of the street. Blind guy takes her in, pretends that he's her father because apparently she doesn't remember shit. Maybe she got hit in the head or something, and basically kidnaps her and adopts her as her own. So just like the first movie, you have a love-hate relationship with the blind guy.
Yeah.
And then and then like comes a group of guys that you think are these people who are abducting children to get their organs for whatever, because there's like a news flash or whatever. They find out where the girl lives. They attack the house. Apparently the girl is the main bad guy's daughter. He's the one that had the crack house that blew up. He went to jail for it because obviously you can't have a meth lab in a house and let it blow up. So you go to jail for that. So then it becomes a fight in the house trying to get the girl. Once they get the girl, then there's a fight at the bad guy's house to get the girl back, the blind guy. It's a very action-packed film. It's not, they could still consider it a thriller. I don't understand why. To me, it's more,
it's called an action thriller.
yeah, it's more of an action movie to me. But it has some very good kind of cringy, like, oh, kind of, you know, when somebody gets hit with something, you're like, oh god, that sucks, but like that was kind of cool kind of thing. And so a lot of cringy moments like that, lots of action, lots of really smart tactical things that happen that I enjoyed, and then a lot of like real dumb stupid shit that happens that you're like, why the fuck did they just do that? But overall, I thought it was a good watch. It's a nice, what I call a popcorn movie. You don't really need to pay attention to the plot. Just watch the action.
Basically.
Yeah.
Chomp on some popcorn, have a couple of drinks, and it's enjoyable.
That turn around like, oh shit, look at that. And then it's like, I didn't watch the last 20 minutes with this.
Yeah.
Like 5 minutes was fire.
Right.
Like,
So in that aspect, if I'm rating it as a horror movie, it's going to be low. It's going to be like a 2. But if I'm rating
damn, she's trying to outdo me right now.
but
Yeah.
because it's not horror. It's not horror.
All
But
right,
if
you said
you
because you were saying in a horror aspect. I'll give you
right, but if you're looking at it as like a entertainment / action movie, maybe like a 7.5, I would say. Because the plot is kind of weak, but the action is pretty good, and sometimes you kind of go, that was kind of bullshit. But but yeah, I think a 7.5.
No, I'll give you that because like I'm kind of around the same way. It says 7.5. Like because it was what it was. It was literally the last movie, just a little bit of different story, but
Yeah.
it was what the last movie was. It was like, nah, it's cool as fuck watching a blind guy beat the shit out of people.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
honestly, but besides that, like
And his twisted morality, and you kind of feel bad for him, but you don't. But you do.
I decided not to get that
don't.
invested into the movie. I just
Yeah.
take advantage of this fact that I know he's not really blind, but he pulls it off so well and
Yeah,
he's
yeah, he
believable.
does. Yeah.
That it was like it's kind of
Yeah,
fun
it's
just
great.
watching him like killing people blind. Like,
Yeah.
fuck it. Like I don't know. That's pretty much my gist of the movie. Like that, I wasn't expecting a lot from it. I was expecting what I seen, like him just killing mad people and then being like, all right. Like honestly, that's what it was. Like,
I do the same. I give it a 7 because I think it's like it's not a good horror movie because I don't think it's horror. It's just good action movie. It's just one of those things, like you said, the plot wasn't like fantastic, but it was like, yeah, it was cool. You to see a guy bash people's head in with a claw hammer or a machete, stabbing
And
people
try
with
to
the
suffocate
guys.
somebody with some Gorilla Glue.
Yeah, that was a cool scene. Like,
Nah,
yeah,
that was good creative.
stabbed his
Yes.
cheek for no stupid, but
I would
it
use
was
the hot
it was
glue gun,
enjoyable. It was like
Yeah.
it had a lot of gore, like not too much, where it was just like this.
For no
Wait,
reason.
yeah.
But it was, you know.
And then like you guys were saying, like they did the same thing in the front in the first one where you like him, and then like, oh, he's a piece of shit. He stole the girl, and then you're like, oh no, he's saving the girl now because this guy's a piece of shit. And then it was like a good little
So-
flip flop.
It's fun
So
for
I
never
think
to make
the-
a third movie.
Yeah.
Put it
Yeah,
like
don't
that.
do it again.
Yeah,
Don't.
no. I think,
Stop.
Yeah. But I think that the overall moral of the story is people are pieces of shit. And if you're a girl, just don't trust anybody and
The moral of the story is
always have a
overall
gun and a
awesome.
knife
If
and
you
a
lose your
trustworthy
vision-
dog with you.
Listen,
Yeah.
I'll give you the other side. If you lose your vision, you can have superpowers.
Apparently.
But you also have to be, an ex-Marine because
Listen, if I could hear you breathing and I know you're like 20 feet away from me, my nigga, I'm gonna kill you if you get close to me. Because like the way I'm a high, like my hide and go seek skills goes back to like 5 years old.
I can imagine Andrew like how to go see. Just like
yeah, just be like, you can't see me, like grandma's boy.
yeah.
You see me.
That's the show
I love
about
that
that
fucking
movie.
movie.
I love it. That is one of my favorite comedies.
That
Grandma
really
Boy
is
is great.
because it's so underground, and it
It-
was
it
like it's
really
so
wasn't.
fucking good.
When that came out, I literally
No one
bought
talks
the
about that.
I bought the
Nah.
DVD and I made everybody. I took it with me everywhere, and I made everybody watch
Because
it.
it was so randomly,
made
unexpectedly
everybody.
fucking hilarious.
This is the
What?
time I was working at Blockbuster and I was living with you.
Yeah,
Those are two movies that you guys had that I haven't watched, and when I watched them, it was Running Scared and
Yeah, One of
Grandma's
Scared's another
Boy.
great
And
That's a
those
great
two
movie,
movies,
too.
I was just like,
that's one of Christina's favorite ones.
But that
Holy
was in that era. Like,
crap.
I'm not gonna lie, like that early, like 2000s, so probably you say like 5, maybe a little bit later. Like
yeah.
they were dropping random movies on DVD. And
Yeah,
it was
straight
like,
to DVD movies.
yo, this shit is fire. Because like
this is before Netflix,
Netflix.
people.
Yeah, like,
so,
that-
way
that's
before
like-
Netflix. Yeah,
that at like on everything Hustle and Flow and Crash when that was like the shit.
yeah.
It was like, no, I was watching this shit on DVD, nigga. Like we got the DVDs
Awesome.
from Still and shit.
Uh-oh.
And it is what it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like we
Yeah.
watched it in that aspect. So I always think about. I feel like that's like a on the low, like a golden era, like
Yeah.
where it was like, yo, we were getting hit with mad indie shit, and we were getting good actors in it.
Yeah.
And now they're more popular. I would see Terrence Howard and Ludacris and all of these
Paul
guys.
Walker and all that.
Paul- yeah, like they're all to it. But Paul Walker's dead now. But
Well, you still, yeah.
yeah, but you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
they got to that a certain point, but when they were doing what we grew up on, like the '90s aspect, where we watched like actors that we fucked with and movies that nobody knew about,
Yeah.
and it's like, yo, this movie was fucking fire though. That's what Running Scared is to me.
Yes.
Running Scared is a 2000 version of like, yo, you
Never
a Paul
watched
Walker
this?
fan? And you ain't see this movie? Like this
Yeah.
is for
You
Paul
ain't a
Walker.
fan.
Like-
You ain't a
Exactly,
fan.
yeah. Like, you ain't
people
see this?
who caught on to him
Mhm.
during the Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah.
It was just like, nah, that ain't it.
Mhm.
That ain't it. This
Nah,
was
that's
it.
a fact, yeah.
Yeah, my
'Cause,
favorite
like-
scene of the movie is when that kid gets caught up with the
Oh
two,
yeah, all of
the
that
two
shit. Yeah,
pedophiles. Oh,
Oh,
that was the
my
best thing.
God.
And you felt, and that's what I'm saying.
Nah,
The
Um,
anger,
I know
the
the anger of the mother when she was
Yeah.
about to leave, and she's
Oh.
like, wait, the fuck a minute. You got kids and you got no picture? Like she just went into mother mode,
Yeah,
and then she was like, da, 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 and then she just pulled out her gun, like, back off.
yeah.
I'm gonna search your house. Like, call the cops. Call them. Back off, because I'm gonna search. And I was just like,
I love that actress.
But you know
though.
what?
That actress.
yeah,
is
she was
amazing.
in,
I ain't gonna
you know,
lie. Like,
James
I'm
Wan
gonna
movies.
ruin this
Yeah,
shit.
she
I'm gonna
was.
ruin this real quick because like anybody who watch this and you ain't watched the movie, fuck you. Basically, one of the best things about that when you really think about it, because what you said is a great breakdown.
Yeah.
But if you really look at it, it's like, nigga, when you know the ending of the movie, if you really think about it, that sentence right there when she's like, call the cops, is like, yeah, no, like she knows that she Gucci because of what
Yeah.
the ending is.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but you don't know that when you watching the shit, you just giving her respect for what she's doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's what
Yeah. And then the shadow.
Like-
Yo, I actually had to find like the director's cut, like the director's cut, like
Yeah.
listening, because I was like, what the hell was that shadow?
Yeah.
But when the
It was
guy
like the
said,
Freddy Krueger aspect of
yeah,
it.
and they said it was a representation, like they're evil. It was like it was them, but it was like, oh, they were representing their evil, like the witch.
Yeah.
Because what's that shit? Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like they were just representing the witch. So when you see the shadow, like with the long nails going back and forth, that when I was watching the movie, I was like, at first I was like, are they making this a horror movie? And then
Yeah.
it just went into like straight up, no, this is real life.
Yeah.
These guys are fucking nuts. This kid is in some shit.
Yeah.
And that kid always is in horror movies. Like he
Yeah.
has that stoic, like,
Yeah, because he has that just
Look.
dead white boy face. He
yeah,
has the-
yeah. It's a fact. It's a fact.
Yeah.
We
But-
went on for another change.
It doesn't matter.
We always do that. We
It's
always do that,
great.
but it's good.
great.
It's
Okay.
good.
The concept's been movies basically. Now we're
Yes.
about to go into. I guess you want to do
What
what is
if?
What
yeah.
if?
All right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna jump into what if, and I'm gonna start it off. Yay!
Go for it. Yay.
Because hey, fuck it. What if was carried by the one and only Spider-Man? Not me. Never forget it.
Tom
Why
Holland.
I just do
Why
just
Or
don't,
to
you
piss
Tobey
do,
everybody
why
Maguire?
off.
don't you do this when you?
I just do shit that honestly irk him. Every time I know X-Men is it gonna be good, it makes me happy. As
Stop.
much as I enjoy X-Men,
Stop.
You're not even wrong. I enjoy X-Men. I'm
Fucking
an
asshole.
X-Men.
He just wants to
fucking
see
fan.
me hard.
But I
like,
just love the
fucking
fact
sad.
that he, like, as long as the number gets long enough that I be like, yo, there's not enough X-Men movies to catch up to Spider-Man's greatness, it makes me feel good.
No, because
There's
what's
no
going to
X-Men
eventually
movies that can
happen?
catch
What's
up.
going to eventually
No
happen
X-Men
though?
movies.
You know what's so sad though is because they had the perfect Wolverine. I know
No,
he's
they don't.
short. Shut the fuck up. I know he's short, but he looked like Wolverine.
No, you didn't.
Yes, he did.
I
Who
don't.
else would you put in there? Who else?
See, I can't go in
Tom
that
Hardy?
argument. See,
No.
because
Everyone says Tom
I
Hardy.
don't like Tom. I think Tom Hardy sucks in general.
You
Don't
got
suck a
he
dick. He's
sucks.
awesome.
No,
He
he's
sucks.
awesome.
I think it's a
He's
good
awesome.
because you don't watch.
Just because you don't like him as Venom doesn't mean that
I
he
think
sucks.
he sucks in everything. I never watched
Nope.
anything in him that I was like, oh my god, he
Oh.
actually made me care about his character.
You ever watch Bronson?
Bronson? What the fuck is Bronson?
Bronson
Like,
is
what the
a
fuck
movie
is that?
based on an actual Russian prisoner that got famous for fighting, but he was a fucking nut job in prison.
The Warrior movie,
The Warrior
UFC.
movie, I watched that movie. Is all right. It's not anything special.
Ugh.
Bane, he did.
At the end of the day, Rocky's always going to be the best live action fight actual movie.
All right,
that
let
I've
me
seen.
go. Let me go through his movies real quick. And you
Oh,
tell me.
boy.
There is you're not gonna listen. You can even name Inception.
Legend.
Inception was carried by other people.
No, Legend.
What the fuck was Legend again?
Legend was the mobster movie where he played his own twin.
He
It
didn't
was
watch
like-
that.
Oh, I know that movie, but I didn't waste my time on it. No,
What?
It was
That
good.
was amazing.
nah, I just don't waste my time
Mad
on
Max
kids
Fury
corny
Road.
saying,
That wasn't good.
"Oh, I'm gonna be this, and I look like this, and I talk like this,
No,
and
You're
I
a
stay
dick.
with my
No.
same face.
You're a dick.
no.
Nope.
I'm Eddie Brock, so
Oh,
I
no.
do this when I talk like Eddie
No.
Brock
No, no,
as
no.
well."
When you
No.
watch Legend,
Legend. He's
he actually
amazing.
plays twin brothers, but one is like the
psychopath.
pretty boy, kind of like I'll still fuck you up, but I'm a pretty boy gangster,
Yeah.
and the other one's like sort of special, but he's the ruthless. Like I'm gonna hit you with a fucking hammer right now.
Yeah.
Like you say something that I think is wrong.
Yeah.
So he plays two totally different characters, and the when he's the
It's
special
kinda like
one,
double. What was that? Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Don't disrespect John Claude like that.
double
Please don't
impact, but it's
It,
not.
it was just like double impact,
It's
and I
double-
would
But it was
never
better acting.
disrespect Jean-Claude
Double
Van
Impact
Damme.
is so much better than
Oh,
anything. Tom
go
Hardy
go
ever
fuck yourself. You're
Honestly.
wrong.
He said Tom
He was-
Holland. so
he
it
was
okay.
in-
Whatever the fuck his name, Tom Hardy or whatever the fuck his
No,
He
name.
was
but-
in Peaky Blinders. He did a show called
didn't watch
Taboo, which is amazing. You need to watch.
Just naming shit that doesn't even.
He doesn't
exist.
watch
it. Doesn't
it.
matter.
He doesn't watch it. So
Because
the-
they're
all the
naming
shit-
things that suck.
The Revenant.
He was in a movie that Leonardo DiCaprio is. So he does not exist. Leonardo
Really?
DiCaprio doesn't
all right.
exist.
Me watching
Like-
me watching all this shit. I'm gonna be the honest person. Taboo, watching it. It's
Like I'm not.
He was
gonna
playing
say-
a
Look how
similar-
fucking pretty he is.
Oh.
No, I'm just
He
joking.
looks like a fucking tired white boy. That
listen.
nigga need to go to sleep.
I'll say
You look like he's
Venom-
fucking awake for once.
Venom, Bane. He's horrible. Warrior. He was nothing special. He was
Warrior is a
just being-
basic ass movie.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I
It was
liked
a.
it.
It was a.
it's not. I'm not saying it's a bad movie.
Yeah,
it's,
but
it's not something like. Listen,
It's
he's
not
never
special.
made a
It's-
movie
It's not
that made
special.
me be like, "Yo, Tom Hardy fight." Like, all right, I'm gonna use Heath Ledger as my example. Heath Ledger, the only thing I really knew from him was that stupid ass 10 Things I Hate About You, and I lived off of that. Then I watched the Joker, and I'm not saying he was the best Joker. I'm just saying that he did a good job
Okay.
doing what he was supposed to do.
All right, and that's what
He
I'm
made
saying.
a character that I can remember. This
No.
motherfucker hasn't made a character that I
Well,
even think of.
But that's because you don't watch movies. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like Bronson is a low
Yeah.
key movie based on a real person, and he's a totally different character than anything. He's not just playing like I would say because I sort of kind of like Legend, but it has nothing like that's supposed to be like a European gangster movie,
Yeah.
but it really doesn't compare to the American gangster movies.
Alright.
But the two characters he plays in that was good. But Bronson, when you see like the psychotic Russian like prisoner that just wants to like he played a good character, and it's to me it's kind of like this is where I like watching movies. Like wait,
do me a favor, just watch Bronson.
He's not gonna watch it because it's not his kind of movie.
I'm
I
not
don't
gonna
give
waste
a
my
shit.
time and watch a fucking 2-hour movie about a guy who has no fucking emotional fucking range. Honestly,
But see, that's the thing too. He doesn't give it a chance.
Yeah.
I
So
just know that the
he
nigga
needs-
is gonna be the same character. It's
It's
like
not.
watching
It's
Michael
not.
B. Jordan. It's like Michael B. Jordan.
Is
I know
Michael B.
he's gonna
Jordan
be.
and everything.
Okay.
He's going to be Michael B. Jordan.
Same thing
It's like
is-
Will Smith.
Same
You know
thing.
what? I
Nicolas
accepted it.
Cage is
I
the same
don't
way.
hate Will Smith, but I accepted the fact that you know what? Yeah, you're right. Will Smith is pretty
Will
much almost
Smith,
the same
yeah.
fucking thing and everything.
But a
So,
lot of actors
just-
are that way though.
But and I
A
accept
lot
it.
of
You know
them
what,
are.
Tom Harden, your basic aspect sucks worse than every other actor's
But
basic
that's
aspect.
but that's because you don't watch movies because it's the same thing.
But I'm just
people
saying
will
in the
look like-
aspect
wait.
of,
Sam Jackson is
Basic.
Sam Jackson in every
but you
movie,
know
but
what?
everybody
He's
loves
fucking-
Sam
'cause
Jackson.
He's actually good at being Sam Jackson.
Because you
Do
like
you
his
get what I'm
personality.
saying?
You like his personality.
But even when he plays Nick
Ryan
Fury,
Reynolds is
but he-
Ryan Reynolds in every
but
fucking
they-
movie.
All right, and they play themselves, but they play it with the little twist of what they need to. Nick Fury is Sam Jackson with a twist of being what he has to be for Nick Fury.
He's still
You get it?
motherfuckers.
But,
So,
but you know it's there, but you don't get it. But that you love that vibe, you love that energy. You know
The
you
same
want that
thing with
motherfucker, but you don't get it because
Al Pacino plays Al Pacino in every fucking movie. De Niro plays De Niro in every
I wasn't
movie.
bringing up those people.
Everybody.
but those people done make classics, and at the end of the
Okay,
day,
Making
but
them
see-
as themselves.
But see, this is the aspect where I think you're not understanding. Since you don't watch movies as
No,
much.
I'm not saying.
yeah,
I agree
no,
with
no,
that,
and I'm not
yeah.
trying to diss you. I'm just
Yeah.
saying it's the same aspect when we look at wrestling. We
No.
don't know wrestling as much, so we'll
Right.
be like,
You see certain shit,
John
no, and
Cena's
I
John
agree,
Cena,
I agree.
and then you'll be like, nah, this motherfucker could do this.
No,
he
and
does
I
this.
agree with
He
that
does this.
100%, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and it's kind of pointless because
Yeah.
I know he's not going to watch movies just
No,
to watch
I'm never gonna
movies.
sit there and watch a fucking
But
Tom Hardy
this
movie
is-
just because.
This
Fuck
is the point.
He's
That-
so, but you know what makes me mad is because you're so angry about it. Like if you were just nonchalant,
But
like
it-
I don't care.
You know what?
Then it wouldn't bother me. But you're so fucking angry about it that I'm like, yo, fuck you.
I'll-
Watch the goddamn movie. Stop being so
No,
goddamn
and
angry.
see, this
Because now
is-
you're making me angry because you're angry.
See, this is where I used to be with him because it's kind of like he's so passionate, but he won't give it a shot to make it different. But he has to wait till somebody says this movie is like a popular view of this movie.
Yeah, no, because then I'll be willing.
Then
to
he'll
watch
be willing to see it.
But the
Yeah.
thing is, like, I'll honestly like my fucking energy is because it's fucking.
but I
hilarious.
feed off of other
No,
people's
but I get it.
energy,
But I get
so
what
I'm
you're
like,
saying.
"Ugh."
But that's the thing. Like, I'll honestly admit, like, a part of it is comes off of like you can't hype something to me,
Yeah.
and then I consistently felt like,
because then you'll be
where
let down.
is this hype?
Yeah.
So now I'm like, it's not like I said, like I watched Warrior. I thought Warrior was decent. I could watch
Yeah.
it while I smoke and do whatever. Like it'll
Yeah.
be
It's a
on.
good
I
background.
could
movie.
watch Inception. I could
Yeah.
watch like certain shit with him in it,
But
but
see,
I
you know
don't
what's
watch
so
it for
funny?
him in it.
It's
'cause he
like
sucks.
I could watch Warrior, right?
Yeah.
But then what's the other movie with Jake Gyllenhaal?
Oh, the
The
boxing.
Southpaw. The Southpaw.
Southpaw.
Southpaw. I
Yeah, yeah.
fucking can't stand
And see,
him.
I like Southpaw.
I
I
like
thought Southpaw
Southpaw.
was good.
Yo, he annoys the shit
Nah.
out of me in that
Southpaw?
movie
So much better than Warrior.
much.
There's two.
No, you know why? Because watching Jake Gyllenhaal in interviews, right? You know how soft he is, right?
All
And
right.
he tries to put on
But
this.
that's Hollywood. That's
I
all of them.
understand.
But he has to
that.
do the tough.
But he
guy.
does
Hugh
the-
Jackman is
Sorry,
soft
just-
too. There's a motherfuckers on Broadway singing and jollying
I mean,
and
Bruce
shit.
Willis
But
does
he
it. Bruce
pulls-
Willis says
but he
Yippee-ki-yay
pulls
to
it.
everybody
Okay,
that jerk off
But
to
there's
him.
this, there's like, okay, so there's when you look at somebody acting and you can separate their personality from their acting, and then
Mhm.
there are some people that you look at, like I cannot take Nicolas Cage seriously in any fucking
But he's
role
not a
he's
good.
in.
He's never
He
been a
is
good
something who
actor.
he is,
It
though,
doesn't
now.
matter.
I would admit
It
that.
doesn't matter.
No, see,
Like I even in roles that he thinks he's good in,
It's horrible.
I can't. It's,
But Jake Gyllenhaal played in Southpaw to me a great character. In Nightcrawler, a great character.
No, but
wanna
he
still watch that. I haven't
overdid
watched
the
that.
whole "I'm a wigger" trying to be cool
He
with
never-
my.
You
with
never
my-
was
See,
a
the thing
wigger.
is, I-
He-
Wait.
Are you
Let
kidding
me say
me?
this. Let me say this. No, wait.
Super wigger.
Hold on.
Super
Hold on.
wigger with
Hold
I'm
on,
gonna
hold
buy
on.
everybody
Listen,
a
my shit's
fucking
like 2
gold
minutes, maybe less.
bracelet.
Yeah,
a
but I'm
gold
gonna-
I
I'm
don't
gonna-
want to call him a wigger off of the aspect that
He was a
just off
wigger,
the fact
come
that not everybody's a
Super
wigger. He's just a
fucking
white boy
wigger.
that grew up in a ghetto area.
And it's not even just about.
He to me he didn't pull it off. He did not pull the authentic I'm a poor white kid from a poor white neighborhood.
Marissa,
I'm gonna let
all right.
I'll let him argue because
See,
he got more to say than I do.
this is the thing.
He did not pull it
I've
off,
met
right?
people like him in my life before. He's the crazy white boy that just wants to fucking fight. It had nothing to do with strategy boxing. Like never in that movie that he said he's a great boxer. No, he got punched in the fucking face and kept getting. It was almost like a wannabe like Rocky thing where he never
Right.
gave up, but more aggressive. Just because 50 Cent was his coach doesn't mean that he's a wigger.
Yeah, but I think
It was
50 Cent
just
his
like-
coach in
It
that
was,
movie, yeah.
and
And
Eminem did the theme song. And
yeah,
it was
like-
just- I don't know. I just thought the
See,
whole.
but
it
I
was
felt-
just so.
But to me, I met
and then
people
the
like
wife
that.
was so fucking trashy. I was like,
She
ugh.
died in the fucking
That
beginning.
was the point of her making the whole character. She had to
God.
die.
It just
Like,
grossed
no,
me out.
I-
The whole movie grossed me
Southpaw's
out.
in-
It
But you
grossed
see
me
the
out.
anger I had? But she defends Tom Hardy, but she gonna shit on a good fucking movie.
Yeah,
Like, come on,
But-
man. Like,
but
It's
Again-
just my opinion. I have a different opinion. I'm sorry.
no, but but on his point, you're doing this thing like, even though people could be like, that's a good movie or bad, and other people would be like, this one, because I never thought that he would be a decent actor because I remember him from Bubble Boy.
Oh
but
yeah.
you see, at
Jake
Bubble Boy, I
Gyllenhaal,
remember
yeah.
I thought he was
No,
gonna
but
be
I
Bubble
remember
Boy.
him from Donnie Darko, and I love Donnie
See?
Darko. That's a really
Donnie
good
Darko's
film.
yeah.
To me, that was a good
I
film.
skipped all of that shit. I went right to what is it? Jarheads, I think it was.
Jarheads.
Oh God,
But he
He
played
did that movie.
okay.
It wasn't a great movie,
But-
but that was the
okay.
first movie I watched.
Okay, wait, wait, wait.
so
You
many
know?
homosexual overtones in that movie. It was like
Like
unnecessary.
I said,
rape
it wasn't a
scenes and
great
shit. I'm
movie.
like,
It was
what
a
the
movie
fuck
that
is
I
this? Are
just
you trying to
watched
say
with him in
Marines
it.
are gay? Like, what's happening right now?
What was I don't I
They had this whole like initiation type of thing where they kind of raped him in a bathroom. I was like, what the
That's
I don't remember that scene.
No, they have that. They have the scene where
They,
the
like-
guy sees his wife getting fucked by somebody else.
It's,
Yeah.
it's
There's a lot of
horrible.
things
It's
into
it.
horrible.
That
It
was
makes
different.
Marines look fucking bonkers. Like
It was
bonkers.
a
but
weird
it was supposed to
aspect
be
it.
that
They were
post
jarheads. They were
9/11
supposed to not
thing.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they went to Iraq or whatever it was again that they
but
went
they
to,
went over.
and they were supposedly not going to go to war, and then it turned into like, oh shit, we're in a battle,
Yeah.
and that's basically the climax of the whole fucking movie.
But it to me, I was like, it just disgusted me the way that they represented the Marines. I was like, ugh. I'm like, this is
I don't know.
disgusting.
I had to
I don't
rewatch
have
it
that
to
much
judge it.
pride
I didn't
towards it.
like that scene where it was just like because I felt so bad. Like the guy was just like, my girlfriend sent me a video, and it was just like of her fucking your like next door neighbor.
Yeah.
Like
And that's happened.
Yeah.
I mean, people
I'm-
have.
I know, but that's what made me mad.
Yeah.
Like, bitch, I'm trying to save your life.
But
And then you're
You know what's the more
fucking you
fucked up
sent me,
aspect
you
of
got
it?
the audacity
But-
to send me a video. Like you could have been like, yo, it's over.
Kind of funny, fucked up though. At the same time, it's like my nigga, why
It's
you
not
watching
funny
a
to
video
me.
with
I've
a
been
whole
cheated
bunch
on.
of
It
random
hurts.
niggas that you at war with, and your girls giving you a video. So
Yeah.
you want every other nigga that you at war with to see your girl butt ass
No, it's
naked.
not. It's
He didn't know
But
that
you-
it was a nude video.
But
Yeah.
you
No,
assume
but they
if your
He
girl
thought it
is
was
sending
like-
something, you would assume
No.
that.
no.
I'm just saying
It
you
was-
would assume that.
I think, from my perspective, he was assuming to be like, "Hey, baby, I love you, miss you,"
no,
kind
that's
of video.
funny.
Yeah.
Why you need to show that to me?
So
Because
you,
it's like a pride thing. And
Yeah,
it's like,
like,
other
oh, I have a
people.
girl.
about you type shit. I get what you're
Yeah,
saying.
and it's also like people starve
hey,
for
here's
like
my wife
people,
fucking
like,
someone
home.
else.
All right.
like when they're away, they starve for home. So
So
even
they-
if it's somebody else's letter or somebody
So
else's
they
video,
really do be
they,
reading fucking cards out loud. So
Yeah.
you can say like,
oh
they do.
yeah,
Because
that
obviously I've
happens.
never dealt with none of this shit, so I
Here,
don't
look
know
at
people like that. But
No, they do
yeah,
that.
so if they do that. All right, that's
Yeah.
understandable. It was just
But
like,
I don't think they'd be molesting people in the shower
Yeah.
though. That's
That
the only
part,
thing I was
no,
like.
I don't remember that, but maybe I blocked it out. So I was like, I don't like
because that part, like, because
I don't know.
honestly,
was
out of that whole
ridiculous.
movie, before we go into what we're supposed to be talking about,
It's all right. We just. I'm gonna
basically-
cut this up. Don't worry. Like I'm gonna put the whole thing out. Then
I know,
I'll
but
cut
I'm
it
having
up.
fun right now. Shut up.
Yeah.
So fucking whatchamacallit, like that scene, like because we were talking about the scene with the whole white shit. I'm not gonna lie, that was probably the one scene out of that whole movie, and I watched that movie multiple times where I was like, that's the only part that I was like, that man's going to die because he's never gonna have his head straight.
Yeah.
Once he put on that video and watched somebody else inside the woman that he was fucking with before he left, that man's gonna get a bullet in his head because he's not gonna be all there.
Yeah.
Something's gonna hit him and he's gonna die.
Yeah.
Like it's just that, like that bitch is going to die.
Yeah.
Honestly, because
That's a
like
fact.
I don't give a fuck. You can send a letter, you can do whatever to break up, but to send another man a
That's-
video of another man hitting you off
Yeah. That's
while he at
fucking
war,
rude.
like
I
you're
would-
an asshole.
I would, again, this is just like a perspective, but I would feel like the best movie would be like a revenge movie. It was just like, no, when I come back home, I'm killing you and him.
Like, you know what make it better? Like he's supposed to be died in Iran. He comes back, and then he started killing off mad people to
just start calling her like taken like William Neeson, just be like,
That's the one movie that Drake should be in because Drake fits that role perfectly.
oh,
The nigga that's emotional will come back and fight every other nigga for a girl that doesn't
Yeah, but
give a
I
fuck
feel
about
like
him.
he would felt like.
yeah, he wouldn't be able to fight. Yeah.
He probably gets shot and be in a wheelchair.
Yeah. With his fucking heart in his hair. God.
Do you know how many girls would hate that shit? Like, why did you get that role?
Why would you want to be in a wheelchair again? I'm
Oh.
comfortable. This is my comfort zone.
Off the king of insecurities.
Okay.
Wait,
anyway.
wait.
right.
Before we go into what if,
Yeah.
what do you guys think about Jamie Foxx as an actor?
I like him.
It depends on the role. Sometimes, like, because when he gets into his bag where he plays a different character,
Mhm.
he could really do it.
Yeah.
But I felt like he got lazy around the time of him doing music and movies.
What do you think is the best character or the best movie he was in?
That's actually
The best character he played in a movie, rather, instead of like he could have been in a good movie and he sucked.
trying to think. Like now, I already got to think Jamie Foxx movies. It's
Ray
been a minute.
Charles, he did amazing.
Well, but that's like around that time where he was like very popular. See, the thing is, like, all right, I'll give you my Jamie Foxx fix. My Jamie Foxx is I didn't really get to watch him stand up until later,
Yeah,
but I watched obviously the Jamie Foxx show. That characteristic, and then learning, oh yeah, he was the shit from A Living Color.
Mhm.
Like, oh shit, like that's Jamie Foxx to me. Like those
Yeah.
little random ass ranges of like creating shit.
Mhm.
Then he disappeared. He did a few bullshit movies. Like I remember bullshit movies.
yeah,
Mhm.
But like he's never, in my opinion, did anything until he started doing music and they fucking really pushed his music. And then his movies became boom. Because
No,
like
because he
the
did Ray Charles
'cause
before his
he
album
didn't.
came out.
No, he didn't.
no,
He did Ray
because-
Charles after he did Gold Digger. And Gold Digger was him sampling Ray Charles.
Yeah,
I thought it was the opposite. I
No.
thought he did Ray Charles first and then did
No,
Gold
it
Digger.
was the other way around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But he did Ray Charles. He did the violin movie
Solo
solo. That was
when
great.
he was a special guy. Yeah, he played in Muhammad Ali movie with
Muhammad Ali.
He was a trainer
great.
person.
yeah,
See, but that's the thing. The Muhammad Ali movie, I think of Will Smith. I don't think of him.
yeah, but. If you
Also,
think
Will
about
Smith
it,
didn't
a
do
lot of
good
a
job,
lot of
so-
people
But it's
I
still, like,
heard
Will Smith-
said
that's
that
Will
he
Smith's movie.
played that character
Uh-huh.
on point,
Yeah.
No, but
supposedly.
see, but the thing is, I get what you're saying.
What
I'm
was
just
the
saying,
other
like,
movie
the
where he
actor-
was he was in jail wrongfully accused? Was it him and
It was him and Black Panther. No,
no, not Black Panther.
No, yeah, I love all these random ass movies, and it's like I love his sea level movie. That movie Held Up, where he's in a convenience store, and they're just in there. That's my favorite Jamie Foxx movie, honestly. They're just
But
in a
see,
fucking
like-
convenience store trying to get out.
when they implanted him with shit like the government.
No. He basically goes to a convenience store because he's driving across country with his girl. He basically gets his car stolen. He gets locked in the shit. It's a stupid comedy.
I haven't
It's literally a
seen
stupid
that.
comedy.
Yeah.
That's my favorite Jamie Foxx movie. That's
I
the
haven't
first
seen
Jamie
that
Foxx
movie
popped
in
my head.
fucking forever, and the main part I remember that is he's singing fucking Earth, Wind, and
Yeah,
Fire.
yeah.
I don't think I remember that movie.
Like,
Yeah,
that
it was a
movie
weird
is the
movie,
most sea-level movie, but I fucks with that.
I gotta watch that again.
Yeah, like I fuck with it.
It's like one of those weird like
Yeah.
travel comedy
Yeah.
bullshit movies that was when he was actually starting to get up.
Yeah, that's the
after,
young James. That's what
Yeah.
I mean. Like, it's hard to really say. Like, I will always stand on an aspect where I feel like with Gold Digger with James Kanye, that everybody was like, wait, that's really him singing the fucking hook.
Because they thought he took
and
a
then
sample.
it started to really push
Yeah.
where they went and they started, hey, Ray Charles, you get this. Like, he's supposed to be Mike Tyson sooner or later, whenever they decide to drop the movie. He's supposed to be Mike Tyson in the next
They're
Tyson
supposed to
movie.
be doing a Richard Pryor
Like,
movie with
Marlon.
Mike Epps.
Was it Mike Epps or Marlon?
Mike Epps?
It was either
No,
Mike
that
Epps or
dropped a
Marlon.
long
It was one
time
of the
ago.
two, yeah.
That dropped a long time ago. Like they
I saw
canceled it a
him
long time ago.
shaved up and everything.
But but there's a lot of it's the way studios work. It's hard. Like
Hollywood
that's why when
sucks.
you say like you can't get mad at James Wan more or less because you got to understand he's doing what he's doing financially for him.
Mhm.
So when he does Aquaman and he's doing these OD high budget, he's doing that because of studio and he's getting
It's
paid.
money.
But
It's
at the end of the day, this is probably his passion. That magnificent, whatever the fuck it's called.
Malignant.
Yeah, Malignant. Whatever the fuck that shit is. That was his passion. He wanted to,
Malignant.
yeah,
What
whatever
is
the
he
fuck it is.
what do you call that? A speech coach.
Yeah.
Because I can't even think about
just
pronouncing
say
that
it.
fucking shit. Yeah.
Malignant.
But that whole movie you can tell was based off of
I'm not gonna
him
even try.
and his fucking shit. Like he shot certain camera angles that were all insidious
Yeah.
aspects, like all of that. Like he got to do his go away movie, like my HBO Max and my. I know it's not gonna make movie theater money, but it's there.
See,
And
this is
then
where
he's gonna go right back to Aquaman 2 like he's doing and do Aquaman 2. But that's how the studios bully. Anytime you sign a
Yeah.
contract with, and I had a beeper, I would say mad extra shit right now. But with these type of people, then you gotta understand that you're a bitch and they're gonna give you your crumbs to let you just have them.
See, I
I
feel
don't
like
think it's crumbs. I think it's big bags that they're giving them.
No,
and they're
no.
like, oh, I
Because you
will
don't go on
stay.
HBO Max, honestly, right now and drop a movie.
But like you said,
when
if
you
that's
are
his
who you
passion
are, horror-
project,
but as
but
a
if
horror
that's
movie
his passion,
person,
yeah, but if
horror-
that's your passion, you don't give a shit how it gets sent out.
yeah.
It's
So
how it gets
that's
sent.
how Scarlett
horror
Johansson will
movies-
feel that way. Because Scarlett Johansson should be happy that she's fucking Black Widow.
Because she's not
Black
getting.
Widow gave her mad
she's not
money.
getting money for the HBO release.
But you get money for being that character for how many years already?
No,
But she
no, no,
has
no,
a
no.
contract.
That's not what happened.
But
That's
she
not what
has
happened.
a contract saying she gets a piece.
Disney messed her up because her contract was supposed to be her movie supposed to make a certain amount.
Yes.
And she thought it was going to be a theater release
Just
on
theater,
top of
just
this.
Yes. So she was
And
getting the
she
theater
can't
release
make
money,
that,
but
but
not
that's
the
the-
HBO.
And then they
Max.
That's the
broke her
issue.
contract
Or the
because
Disney Plus
she
money.
didn't make the money that she needed to make to fulfill her contract.
But that's what I'm trying
And that's
to
why
say.
she's
Like,
suing
Yeah.
her.
in this aspect, like,
But if they would have
He got to
added
do-
that money to it, she
Alright.
would have made
but
it.
the
But they
thing
didn't.
is,
Not-
if James Wan did this movie was his passion movie, let's say,
Okay.
what does he get out of it? Because it's not going to the theaters. Nobody.
It's
talks
in
about
theaters.
All right,
It is.
But
Yeah.
do they talk about it in the theaters, or do they more or less point out the fact that you can watch on
Yeah,
HBO
HBO
Max?
Max. Yeah.
And
I agree
what
with that.
said when I
No.
sat down, like, no, I'm not saying you just like, I'll pay the $14. The five of us can all sit in one room and we can watch it together for my $114.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Instead of all of us paying $14.
No, no.
But
I
also,
totally
but
agree.
it
horror movies,
sucks
but also
in that
horror
aspect
movies
for
don't
certain
have
shit.
big releases unless it's a
A
big
popular thing.
franchise
Yeah,
or
yeah.
like it's like
See-
a lot of shit behind it.
But I also put it this way.
And it's also not October.
If
It's
it's-
also, you
But
know,
see, I don't
if
feel like
it's
that's
if it's your passion
gist of it,
project,
yeah.
I feel like since you are getting these bags from other things, this is where it disturbs me. Where it's kind of like you made Conjuring and Insidious and Saw like these original thoughts
yeah.
so well. And if this is your passion project, it's kind of like what fell off. Like, did someone
you
else
probably had a
write for
different-
you? Did
but-
someone
but
else?
It's not
Could
even
have been
writing. 'cause
distracted by different things.
You gotta think
Like
like
if he's working on too many different things at one time,
between
you're not focused.
that, and it's not even a writer aspect. Like you gotta give
Because
the
he
producer
didn't
is a
write it, he
producer.
just directed
But-
it.
There's some
He
no, he
didn't
directed.
write
No, he
it.
did direct.
He
it.
directed
no,
it.
that's what I'm saying. He
Yeah.
directed, but he didn't write
I don't
it.
think he wrote it. I'm not sure about that, but I know he directed it. But that's the thing. Like, but you gotta
Okay.
understand, like, when you have that many people, because when you go through that scenario, all those people, all right, this is my one vision. This is, but I think this is almost in the wrestling aspect. Like,
Yeah.
everybody has their own aspect. It goes all the way to the end where it's like the person who has the most power makes the decision.
Yeah.
So when we watched a lot of shit, it's like what I think it was. We went through the 2 Insidiouses that he did, and then we got to 3, and we knew that he didn't do it, and you watched it
felt
and you
it.
knew that he didn't do it.
Yeah.
That was the difference. The studio looked at him and was like, well, you're one of 5.
Yeah.
I could take the 4 and replace you, and then
Yeah.
go from there. That's how that business works. Like
Hmm.
music is the same way. Nigga, you're one of the 4 fucking producers that's in here. You're late, you're fired, and this is coming off of a Kanye thing that just came up. Yeah, like he said, go find God.
Yeah.
You were supposed to be here at 9. You're hitting me up at 12.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
You get what I'm
Kanye's
saying?
probably been late his entire life.
But he's
which
allowed
is-
to. Because he's gonna be a person that's gonna be there past 12
Mhm.
working. You gotta understand that. Like there's certain people that like that. It's
I
like
just
how
don't.
they say-
I don't like the whole hypocritic nature. I understand you're Kanye,
Yeah.
but you're also dealing with high level producers as well.
Mm-mm. He's the highest level of producer. At the end, the producers will tell you he's the highest level of producer.
But I'm not saying, but they're not slouches either. They're like
not, but
they're not
up and
no
comers. They're
names.
people. No, they mostly are. They're mostly the second level engineer, the person that's probably doing this, doing that. But they're not. They're
Can
not
you give me
doing
water?
everything production wise. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, it goes right to Kanye, and Kanye sits there, and this was one of the reasons of the drama
Mhm.
for his album. Like he'll sit there
Can I
and
get a water?
he cleans it, and he'll be like, I don't want this, I don't want that,
Yeah.
and he'll just do because he but he brings all these people in because it's the same with any artist. Like, you know, some people like they still the now sound.
Yeah.
Like they know how to ride with it, and he does that. That's what he does. That's why he works with multiple people now, because
Right.
it's easier for him not to do what he did back then, which worked because it was fresh and new. Now I work with young people. I put them on my type of beats.
Yeah.
I make them sound this way. Like, yo, work. Like he's doing what Diddy does,
Mhm.
but a little bit better because Diddy, you knew, was
Yeah.
100% not
And
rapping.
I guess you also don't know the story. Was this guy always late? Was
Yeah,
there like a
that's what I mean.
problem?
Like Kanye's
Yeah.
crazy. Don't get me wrong. Like, and I tried to really stay away from the energy of like everybody that as soon as he put the Trump hat on, they said fuck him. I
Yeah.
was like, I know that nigga's been batshit crazy. He was batshit crazy once you realize he was drunk and jumping on stage at the VMAs. Like he's been special. Now he's going through his shit
Mm.
and he's finally kind of normal. Like he's there balanced, but it's like weird. Where it's like you don't want to be like, oh, your religious aspect is fake. You're just faking it to sell.
No, he's always been religious.
Yeah,
though.
but that's the thing. Like people now, because his album is a gospel album, technically,
Yeah.
but it's just based off a hip hop sound.
Yeah.
But some people don't like that because when you listen, like I'll truly say, like I listened to it and I went back into Spotify and I was like, where's the fucking unedited version? Like I'm looking for the curses and I was like, oh, this nigga don't give a fuck. He put a whole album with no curses and bleeped out every curse that every street rapper that he put on his shit put. And somehow he was able to make it that you don't even really truly realize it once you start enjoying the song.
Yeah.
You're just rapping along and you don't even realize that he was supposed to say nigga, or supposed to say fuck, or supposed to say something.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a natural thing because he's a fucking genius music wise.
Yeah.
It's
No,
just
he-
the way it
he
works.
is-
Like,
He is a genius music producer. Wow.
But now we're
Okay.
gonna go to what if and back to Spider-Man. Yay! So listen,
It's what if episode 5.
it's 5. It's the zombie concept because we definitely been going long, so we're gonna try to do a little quick. One, I'm gonna throw it out there. I love the way it started the zombie apocalypse. How it did with the whole was it Hank Pym? Was it the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was Hank that jumped on the neck and bit fucking Hawkeye, and then it went from there. And they basically it was Infinity War. Infinity War movie was the start of the whole apocalypse, basically. And then from there you get Spider-Man, a Hawkeye from another universe, Doctor Strange's cape, the Hulk that couldn't turn into the Hulk.
No, Hawkeye was dead. Hawkeye
Yeah,
was a zombie.
Hawkeye
Hawkeye was
was-
dead throughout the whole
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah,
I
he
thought
was-
he was. Oh no, because that was the beginning of the episode.
It starts out with Hulk, and he's like, "What the hell happened?"
and he crashes into
Yeah.
the
Yeah, like he said, it starts out
Doctor
with
Strange.
Infinity.
Yeah,
starts
so
out with
that
Infinity
same
War.
starting,
So in Doctor Strange's building, and then he's like,
but everybody's a zombie.
everyone's dead, and then you have
no,
Thanos'
that's
people come down,
Um,
and he's trying to get the Hulk out, just like the movie,
Yeah.
and it wouldn't come out, and then he sees a portal opening, but it's Iron
zombie-
Man,
It's zombie Iron Man.
and then
Zombie
once he sees
Wang.
his face, yes, Wong,
Wong. Sorry.
Wang.
Sorry. I did that. I did
We're
that
very
during
racist
Shang-
against Chinese
No,
people, I guess.
I did that
Shit
during
about my
Shang-Chi.
beneficent, or whatever
I
the
did
fuck
the
it
same
was.
thing at
Uh,
Shang-Chi, and I was just like, no, it's Wang, not Wong.
But it starts off like that, like like you said, the start of Infinity War, and then it just goes that he finds out like certain people are that, and then Spider-Man saves him. The cape is still alive, thank God. The Doctor Strange's cape, and you find out like certain people here and there are still alive, like Winter Soldier.
The chick from Wakanda. What is her name?
Yeah, the main bold chick, the leader.
Michonne from
Michonne.
Walking Dead.
No,
Yeah.
it's not Michelle.
Yeah, it's Michonne.
from Walking Dead.
Well, they did a horrible job making her into a cartoon character. Could not look like her.
But it's definitely her.
I thought it was. I thought it was one of the other ones, like the one that was on Winter Soldier,
It's
or
her.
the
I know-
one
I
that
know
was
what
on
you're saying.
Falcon Winter
Nah,
Soldier.
I know,
Yeah.
but like, trust me, I know that voice and everything.
I gotta rewatch
Yeah.
it because she might have a point. It
Nah,
might
it's
be
her.
that one,
Trust me, it's a.
but yeah, because they would make her, I guess, the lead.
Yeah, but
And then-
it facially it did not look like
The
her.
cool
It
thing
didn't,
is, like you said, it started out like Hank Pym goes to the miniverse, the microverse,
Mhm.
tries to save his wife, and his wife has the disease. He comes, brings it back, and gets Hank Pym, and you'd think that like all the people are dead, but then you see like Hank Pym is ahead. Oh, or no,
No,
Paul-
it's Scott Lang.
Scott Lang, yeah.
Yeah.
He's just ahead, but Janet Van Dyne is still Wasp, and she's still alive. But it's kind of cool because the people that are zombies still use their powers. So it was kind of cool when Captain America came up versus Winter Soldier.
Mhm.
Falcon came out in Fort Winter Soldier 2.
Yeah,
Hank Pym wasn't in the thing besides the beginning, right?
Nah,
right.
it was
Just
only
the
in the
beginning.
because they
Yeah.
used Wasp to basically build up for the giant man aspect.
Yeah.
and all
Yeah.
of that,
So
yeah.
Wasp turned into a giant wasp at the end, and it's spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But it was cool. It was
Nah, it
very
was a-
action packed.
Honestly, I've
I
been
wanted
waiting
more.
for that episode from the beginning of the What Ifs. I was
Yeah, that
my-
Thomas was
Yeah.
he was excited for that episode.
my
as well.
zombie love just was like I want to, and I told you before, I was just like I wanted to see, and like they use their actual real powers, and I was like, that's dope. Like they're zombies and they could use their actual powers.
Yeah.
That made it more like y'all literally got $40 out of me by Comic-Con because sooner or later I'm gonna end up buying the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, the series.
Yeah,
Nah,
to just
it's-
read it, to be
I-
honest.
And coming from me, like Thomas lent me his like first trade paperback, and I didn't think that I was gonna be interested.
Mm.
The story is amazing. Like what they put in the comic book, like Black Panther had his leg cut off. That was in the comic book.
Mhm.
Giant Man, the original Hank Pym or whatever, held him captive because he was taking bits and pieces of him. Because in the comic book, once they eat flesh, their mind comes back, but it only comes back for a short period of time. Then they get the lust again. Like I gotta eat. And I was telling
It's
him,
almost like vampire-y.
yeah, but it's like much quicker.
Mhm.
And I was telling him in the comic book, you still like Spider-Man a lot because Spider-Man, he's a big character. Once he eats, he starts crying like I killed Aunt May, I killed Mary Jane, like he ate him, and he starts crying, and everyone's looking at him like, shut the fuck up, like we kill people, so what, like blah blah blah. And then once the hunger takes over, he doesn't care anymore. So you get to see like once they eat, that's the only thing they didn't show in the show, that once they eat, they get their mind right, and then it's just like that, and then they start eating again. But the cool thing about it, because I like the fact that Vision had his little sanctuary,
Yeah.
and then he was holding up like he had Wanda there, and he only bring people in
To feed her.
to feed her because of the love, and then he find out at the end like, oh, this is wrong. But then the end scene was badass. Everyone wants
scene, yeah.
a zombie Thanos with the fucking Infinity
That's gonna
Gauntlet.
happen. They're gonna,
Like-
gonna do like a short mini series or something.
They
about
have
it,
to.
yeah.
Because I know this episode had, because I really wanted like, yo, do a two-parter.
Porter. They
Yeah.
might.
Because I think the What Ifs is gonna end by 8 episodes.
8 episodes, yeah.
So this was 5.
Mm.
Yeah,
So
probably got
they'll
3
probably
more.
do maybe one more zombie episode and then
Well, we'll see.
if they
next
do
week,
it smart,
honestly.
if they do it smart, they make the last episode a continuation of the zombie,
Oh yeah.
but they should do 2 new episodes because honestly, even though the omnibus is out now, like I should pre-order it, but they should do like because the what ifs in the comic books are one comic book beginning and as like what if this happened, blah 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 blah. That's it. It's a one story read, and that's why those books were kind of popular.
Yeah.
And that's why I think I like these shows. It's kind of like
A 1 episode.
yeah, it's just 1 episode. But the zombie one could go into more. But I heard that this is part of canon. So they're saying that they might bring things in from the show into the movies.
Apparently, yeah. When they said it was canon, I was like, interesting.
And if you bring zombie Thanos, that'd be kind of.
But that's the thing, like, well, obviously zombies and Thanos, but
yeah, but that's like
that wasn't the
completely
main aspect
unstoppable.
of what they were trying to do. Like,
oh no!
The main concept was to build up the Spider-Man with the Doctor Strange cape and have people get used to it.
Yeah,
because it's gonna happen in the new Spider-Man movie.
Yeah,
just to throw
which
that
I
out there.
actually saw the preview, or it's because me and Thomas went to go see Shang-Chi, and the preview made me not want to actually see Spider-Man.
ooh,
That's weird.
that is very weird.
I was like, I really wish I didn't.
This
watch
is like a person that deadass. Like when I told her I didn't want Andrew Garfield or like Tobey Maguire because I didn't care, I didn't need it. She looked at me like I was fucking crazy. But now apparently she gets a trailer and we got Doc Ock and we got a Green Goblin tease.
What made
and she
you?
don't give a fuck.
I don't know,
What
like
made you not?
something about the whole thing with him and Doctor Strange turned me off.
Doctor Strange is not Doctor Strange.
But
it's Mephisto.
That's why the whole spell goes wrong and everything goes bad.
I get that, but I don't know. Like to me, I'm like, where are they going? Like I just
Doctor
like it
Strange
just kind of like it when I
have you watched Loki?
Yes, and that's why it's
multiverse.
I get it.
I think you're overthinking it.
I think it's not interesting anymore.
No, you're just overthinking
it.
You're
See, you're
crazy.
overthinking it because you're overthinking. See, this is the issue with people in general. Like you get so
they might
used to a
bring Hugh
product
Jackman back for you
that you don't.
If they do, I'm not.
That you don't really like. you get a fatigue for it, or you get burnt out. It's a normal aspect. You're wrong, but in the same aspect,
I'll still watch it.
Like,
I'm not saying I'm not gonna watch it. I will still watch it. I just wish I didn't see
because like we
trailer.
literally we went through.
And that's also why I don't
You know
watch
what?
trailers.
Wait.
I hate watching trailers.
I want Andrew to talk, but I'm just gonna know now. Once I get tickets to Spider-Man, it's gonna be me, him, and Thomas sitting together, and I'm gonna put you in the seat all the way at the corner. Because the last thing I want is the groans like, ugh.
Oh, she gonna.
When I'm gonna be like, yeah.
Oh, this whole time between that or the fake, like, oh my god, and she starts enjoying, I'm like, you fake ass.
So I can't change my mind.
No,
Doesn't
you're
mean that I'm
you're here for life now.
No, we're gonna look at the end at you like.
Like, all right, I'm gonna carry this for a minute. Like, I'm a horrible person. I'm petty. I am petty.
But this is why I don't watch.
Like,
this is why I don't watch previews because it will turn me off to a movie like that.
I get it, but like, fuck.
How can that turn you off? That's nostalgia. You get the original Doc Ock from the movie.
I don't give a
You
fuck.
get the William Dafoe laugh.
If William Dafoe shows up, I will be happy.
He's confirmed.
Nigga, the whole time, like I remember, I watched that trailer. No lie, smoking. I'm looking out my window, watching it on my phone, and as I'm smoking,
are they bringing back? What's his name? Dafoe's son. What's his name?
No, because nobody gives a fuck.
All right, why would you say that?
Maybe you don't.
Why would you say that, Marissa?
At the movie with her. She's just making herself get.
You know what I need? I wish I was an editor. I would just blank her out and mute her fucking. You know.
Like, why did we even bring that up? We're not even.
We're not gonna even do that. No, fuck that. I muted her mic.
That story does not.
Let's me and you talk because apparently I had to mute her mic.
When I add goosebumps, like I love the build of that whole trailer. I love everything out of that. How are
you gonna bring up Frank? What's his name? Frank. Wait, something. What? The son of William Dafoe.
James Franco.
James Franco.
James Franco. Yeah.
How are you gonna bring him up? Like, is he gonna be in there? Fuck him. Nobody cares about him.
Apparently,
William
someone
Dafoe.
does, but. That nigga couldn't act any damn way. No, those are some of the worst James Franco movies ever. Have you really watched him looking mad about Mary Jane and Peter? That's Spider-Man right now. And it was just like, yo, my nigga, go smoke some weed.
Yeah. Go do Pineapple Express.
like,
Shut the fuck up.
Because that movie made you look like the most whiny white boy. Like you made Anakin Skywalker look cool. Like
Wow.
Yeah.
Facts.
Wow.
Facts.
That's hard to do.
And I'm
Damn.
saying it's double
I wish I
bad.
had the fucking
Dude.
gunshots and the bombs.
You can't tell me when you want to go emotional aspect for three. And this is the best way to put it: 3 movies, emotional aspect. Who had the better change by the 3rd movie? Anakin. We all know this.
Anakin never had a change. He was
changed by
whiny
the 3rd.
bitch,
He changed by the
whinier
3rd
bitch,
movie.
whiny-est
He
bitch,
changed by
and
the
then you
3rd
die.
movie.
No, he did not.
I'm not.
He went for whiny, whinier, whiny-est, and
Yeah.
then, you know.
The better change was Anakin. Anakin looked cooler when he got darker. Anakin actually had a
He
better
just
fight
looked
scene.
sweaty and like he
I'm
fucking-
agreeing
But
with
Green
you.
Goblin was trash. Once you walked into Spider-Man 3 and you see this thing on a
When you
fucking snowboard, no real Green Goblin
No.
aspect to him.
I'm gonna give you
and
this.
all the- fuck that.
This is the
Fuck
only thing
that.
I'm giving you. It's better than the James Franco turn, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anakin still sucked.
No, I'm not saying Anakin was great.
3 was fucking
I'm not-
horrible.
3 was not horrible.
It was
You're wrong.
fucking
3 was not horrible.
horrible.
You're wrong.
1, 2,
3
and 3 were equally
3
horrible.
was the best one out of the fucking 3 of them.
No,
It was the best one out of 3 of them.
no,
You want to live off of Darth Maul and his 15 minutes of fame?
no.
Fine. You
I'm
can
not
do
gonna
that.
even say that. I'm
But
not gonna even
Honestly,
say
at
that.
the end of the day, episode 3 was the better one
No, it
out of
wasn't.
the fucking prequels.
I
I'm
wish
gonna
Ansel
say no,
was
it wasn't
here to
because
shit on all of
you can't. You-
Listen, you could say they're all bad, and I would agree.
Yes,
But I would
they
say
are.
out of the 3,
They don't exist.
episode 3 is better.
They don't exist.
They don't exist.
I'm not saying out of non-existent. I'm just saying out of those
Listen.
3 in that category, in those 3 movies, episode 3 was the best one.
No.
There's no 2 was slow as fuck and got boring and died
Mhm.
throughout most of the movie.
And
One
the first
had
one,
nothing
nothing till the end.
Darth Maul, yes.
yes,
So how is not episode 3 better?
because the whole movie fucking sucked. And
The
I
whole movie was action, at least somewhat, more or less. More
not really.
action than the first 2. I'll say that.
no, because the second one
Besides
started
that
with
last fight
action.
scene, no, but the 3rd one started with action too. 3rd one started with them saving fucking Khal Dooku.
Yeah, and then he cut off the arms and shit like that.
Yeah,
but
that's
still,
what I'm saying. Like the 3rd one has more.
okay, let me explain.
Like-
This is why, right? You gave us actual good villains in the first 2 movies,
Okay.
and then the 3rd movie,
It was
you gave
supposed to be a
us
villain that we all love,
shitty
and it didn't
Darth
get to
Vader.
that point. Yeah.
So again, Darth Maul is one of my favorite villains, but that first movie, horrible. I agree.
Mhm.
It wasn't till you hear the dun dun dun.
Look, Darth Maul, everything
That-
from the hoodie to
Yes.
him on the fucking glider shit.
Anything
Anytime
with
he was
Darth
on
Maul-
screen, it was worth it.
And I'll say
Yeah.
the second one, I wanted more General Grievous.
And-
General Grievous
nigga,
is
you know
fucking
I
great.
love General Kenobi. That's my
Yeah.
nigga. That's one of my favorite characters. I love
Kenobi,
Grievous.
we get Kenobi, we get
Like-
Boba Fett's father, we get all that in the second movie. The third one is just Anakin and this guy, and this is why I'm saying, because I'm a movie watcher.
Nah. I mean, I want to hear your.
So
opinion.
it's the progression. Like, they all trash. They all trash. We
Yeah,
all
yeah,
agree.
yeah.
But you see the progression in the first one. You meet this little fucking kid, even though it's stupid to make him a little kid, stupid pod racing. But you see, like, okay, where he is, where he's going, it progresses. And in the second one, it was just like, oh, he's a little bit older. He's flirting with Padme.
Who's
Yeah.
like twice his age.
Well,
Yeah,
you know,
technically at
they're
this
in
time,
space. Come on, man,
supposedly.
like, we gotta have laws.
And so he's, I guess, going through puberty. He's doing all this shit. He's flirting with anime. He's getting emotional because he turned her down. He has a stupid sand moment. And then it's like, yeah, but it's progression. The third one is just like, well, I'm this powerful.
and I'll give you that.
Teach me. And then you have a thing of people teaching you. You're supposed to, again, this is bad writing in movies. It's just, you're supposed to grow up with the Obi-Wan, who's his trainer. And then as soon as Palpatine says something and you're like, you're right. And then you're in a room full of Jedis
He
and you're
kills
trying to stop.
children.
But this is what I'm getting to.
Come on,
It
you
goes
make it seem
from-
that's a
Random.
fucking bad.
it-
I was ever this fucking that was awesome.
This is why.
I love that he
No.
walked up to them and
No.
like, I'm like, fuck you. little
No,
niggas,
you know
and killed them.
why? Because there was no progression
There
to
was-
it.
No, and I
It
agree with
was-
that aspect,
it
but I'm just
was
saying in the
evil.
general aspect.
No,
of
no. I don't
It
mind.
went from
Listen,
0 to
but
100.
that's what I'm
No,
saying.
there was 0 to 100 with no explanation.
That's
I
my
get what
point.
you're saying, but
That's my
like
in the
point.
it should
aspect
have
of
been like
evil.
it should have been like he mind controlled him or he
No,
No,
'cause that's
no,
too
no,
much.
no, no,
That's just too much.
Oh,
No.
it should have been something.
This is what it should have been. It
Like he should have been doing evil shit along the way,
Yes.
like minor evil
That
shit.
was basically
Kinda
like how
because
the Clone
you
Wars
don't-
cartoon is. That's what they didn't do in
Yes.
the right way. They didn't show where he was doing things that he's not supposed to do. But
Yes.
he's doing it because.
And that's my
Yeah.
problem with the third
Mhm.
one. It was
No, I agree.
I'm in between. I'm in between.
And
Now
now
I'm
I'm-
fighting you. I'm killing Mace Windu. Now I'm killing children. The next scene is him literally going and killing children. You don't go from I'm in between to fuck the little
You might as
kids.
well kill Sam Jackson and the little kids. That ain't that bad.
That's a big fucking jump.
That's
And-
No.
and then it-
I
and then-
agree 100%.
yeah, and I'll give you this though. The end fight scene with Obi-Wan.
the movie's
was
still better
good.
than all the first. I could
I
watch
don't
the
think so.
third one more than I could watch the first.
Okay,
Nah, I
regardless.
can't. I can't.
Regardless.
Like the first two bored me. Like I will fall asleep watching those. At least the
All three
third
of them.
movie, I could watch it and I'd be like, oh shit, like I know there's gonna be a fight scene coming up. And I'll watch the shit. Like
They're
I'll be more
all
into it.
trash. But I'll give you this. When I watched the first one, I just watched the end. When I watched the second one, I just watched the Obi-Wan Grievous. And then when I watched the third one, I only watched
it's basically the end, the last
The
40
Obi-Wan.
minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
and because that's the same
Yeah.
time Yoda's fighting.
That's the best. But
Palpatine.
that's the best. Well, and the Grievous Obi-Wan fight scene that could have went longer and a little bit better.
Better, yeah.
But
They really bitched out
the way it
Grievous.
started was awesome. The way it ended sucked,
Yeah.
honestly.
Okay. So what was the last thing we were going to
All right, so we went through the what ifs. We said what we said. Basically, we're gonna end it with this since we've been going on random tangents. I just want to know, fuck it, what's his little Easter eggs that he's seen in the Wolverine trailer? 'Cause
Oh, okay.
I didn't go that hard for
So-
fucking 50 seconds.
So
Like-
there's a new game trailers. There's a new Spider-Man trailer where they introduce Venom. And then there's
Don't
a
bring
new
up my shit, nigga, when I brought up this, because if we want to bring
All
up
right.
Spider-Man, then we
All
can
right,
I'm just
talk about
letting
Spider-Man.
people know.
Nah, because now you're trying to shit on, because we gotta have the Spider-Man talk, and then we gotta have Wolverine talk.
All right.
Wolverine
So
talk.
So I was going to say
He's trying
before
to
he
sneak into
interrupted
my
me
section.
rudely was that there's new game trailers that happen, and there was a Spider-Man trailer, and there's a Wolverine trailer. Now the Spider-Man trailer showed a lot more and all that stuff, but we'll get into it since he wants to,
Epic.
Uh,
It is epic.
but
I'm sorry.
Wolverine, it was really only like 30 seconds. It was just him at a bar, and then someone comes behind him, and his claws pop out of his fist. But there are Easter eggs in there. So when they're going up to the bar where you see the guy's knife, two things. On the register, it says 19.74. So it's 1974. Then there's a license plate that says HLK 181. That's the Hulk, Incredible Hulk 181 is the first appearance of Wolverine in the comic books. It came out in 1974. So they give little Easter eggs, comic book wise, in that
That's
little
cool.
30-second trailer. They didn't show much. I'm not saying they
Nah,
showed
they
a lot.
didn't show.
They just showed the
Yeah,
fist
anything,
coming
yeah.
out on the bar, and that's it.
The claws coming out.
Yeah. And we'll get it. That was the only thing I wanted to say because that show
Oh,
was
that
cool
was
to
the
me.
only. Damn, I thought you had more. I was gonna shit on you, but now I only let me shit on you and be like, I don't give a shit what you fucking learned after watching it 3 times after I put you on the shit, motherfucker.
I know he's so bitter. He's so bitter. So talk about your fucking
You're
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
How you gonna say it like that? Like, yo, you can't tell me that trailer wasn't fire. The nigga literally landed, was
Because
whipping
you're-
ass, and then Miles Morales
Because
comes
you're
out and
such
they're
a
working
dick
together.
to everybody else. We got to be a gang dick to you.
That was one of the best fucking trailers.
I hope Tom
out of-
Hardy's the voice of the fucking Venom. Just piss him
He's
off.
not. You heard it when we watched the trailer. I showed you the trailer
Okay, so
yesterday.
what happened on the Spider-Man?
Nah,
game
it's just
show?
a basic trailer. Like,
I like how he boasted up and he was like, "No, it's all right."
no, it's not basic because they didn't give a lot of.
Is it better
footage.
than the Miles Morales game?
No, it's
No,
actually
it's both of them.
All right. Let me word this better.
It's
'cause it's
two.
like- it's
yeah.
going to be better than the Miles Morales game.
Ooh.
But the thing is, you gotta just wait because the thing is, we're gonna get a progression. Like, I'm hoping. I know 2-player games don't happen really right now. Like, we don't get 2-player gaming,
Which is stupid.
but
It is.
in the aspect of we could get a, even if it's online and I could play with a friend, it'd be kind of like I want to have both Spider-Man. Don't put the trailer and put both Spider-Mans as an aspect and not be able to use them. And the same reason, like I told him, I was like, I don't need anything else. Because honestly, if Carnage is in the game in the
As a
shadows,
villain, yeah.
then I want to find that out when I play the game.
Right.
Because that means I get to use Venom. Now I have 3 options of 3 different fucking people that I could go through the city with. This game already, just off of a minute and 20 seconds, made me think of multiple potential.
Yeah.
And I already had Sinister 6 in the first game almost.
Yeah.
So it's like I already know where this game is going. Like I want the Wolverine game to be good, and it's made by the same people. Don't get me wrong, but I need to see what their vision is. Like, besides
are these
that
PlayStation
30
games
seconds.
or?
Yeah, the PS5 games, more or less, because they're
You're gonna have to
going
buy.
straight to
You're gonna have to
PS5.
buy Thomas that
Yeah.
PS5 this year coming up.
Christmas.
Not honestly, it's a little bit easier now, and I'll help you look for it if anything. But
you can't just download it. Isn't everything downloadable?
Well, games are, but
yeah, but when it comes to 4K and everything that comes to the newer gen systems, it doesn't work that way. Like I literally played a Spider-Man game that Peter Parker looked one way on PS4. I put it on the PS5 and I was like, who the fuck is this man? Because that's the way like they just updated so much. Yeah.
I wish this is why I wish we had an editor, because what just came to my mind is fuck Hook when he goes, there you are, Peter. When a white kid is messing with his face.
There you are.
Because that's pretty much what
God,
happened.
that was
Like,
such a good
they
movie.
like high cheekboned him and then made his hair light
still,
brown and
if
was
I
like, who the
see
fuck
it
is
on,
this?
I will watch it.
I watch it all the time when
Nah,
it's
Hook's a great movie.
Rufio.
that's the only Peter
Right.
Pan movie
This is
I'll
one of the
ever
things.
watch.
And like,
Yeah.
we could like I can legit tell you right now, like you will go on the Disney Plus app right now. I was watching Sandlot last night. I was like, fuck
Sandlot's the best.
I had,
shit.
I had a
is
clip
great.
and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch randomly Sandlot until I fucking pass out. And it's because that's one of those movies I'll quote I'll
Yeah.
do the lines while I'm
And
in
that
my
was
room
like-
by myself.
What was his name? Dennis
Like-
Leary was the stepdad, and he
Yeah,
was,
he was
great.
He only
was-
played
but
in
he-
like 2
great.
scenes.
But those
But
two
he
scenes fit
didn't
who
curse
he was.
anybody out. which
Yeah, it was
one
just
of-
like
But he looked like that type of stepdad, like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
stepdad that he was accepting
like
the
he
kid.
would bop you.
there's
in the back
there's
of
a
the
reason
head.
why I don't like him. He stole from Louis C.K.
Listen, I don't know nothing about a lot of that extra white people drama.
He got
comedy
famous.
shit.
You know where the
I'm an
famous
asshole?
I'm an asshole. That was
Oh,
Louis
everybody
C.K.'s
knows that
bit.
song. Yeah,
Yeah, that
But
was
he,
Louis
he
C.K.'s.
did it better. So
No, he
See,
stole
that's
it.
depending on the argument.
And this
'cause I
is
don't
the
know.
great thing.
I had to do research
No, no.
to get into this argument.
The great
I-
thing, because they grew up in Boston. They all
Okay.
did it in Boston. Louis C.K. said it, and he's not holding a
is
gripe
Louis
to it.
C.K. that old? I feel like Dennis Leary is much older. Than
No,
him.
Louis
he
C.K. is
definitely
like bald now.
Dennis Leary is
Doesn't matter.
definitely they're at least the same age, but Dennis
It doesn't
Leary's
matter
older.
because he still grew
But
up
Dennis
around.
Leary came out way before.
No,
Louis
he just
C.K.
got
did.
more popular.
that
That's what
I
I
can't
mean.
argue.
But the thing is, Louis C.K. and him, he explains it, but he's not in a gripe. Like he's not
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh fuck.
It's
Like
it is what
he
it
said
is.
that his thing, he wasn't singing a song like he was. He was saying like that was his joke. Like I'm an asshole if I do that. I'm an asshole if I do that. He, Dennis Leary was there, and he was the bigger comedian at the time.
But he made it.
And he said, "Hey, I like that."
Nah, he did make
Then
it
he
song.
took it, and then he made it his own. And then I think he was on Opie and Anthony when he was saying it. So he was saying like, "Oh my God, that's yours!" Like he got famous off of that, and he was just like, "Yeah, it sucks, but whatever. Like I'm not
But
mad
that's
about
who
it."
Dennis Leary is. Like honestly, if he was been humble,
No, you can't say that. No,
The nigga that I watched on TV
No,
is
no,
not
no,
supposed
no.
to be the nicest person. in
no,
the
no,
world.
it's not about being nice. The thing that a reason why I don't like it, because listening to a lot of comedians, this is the whole Joe Rogan, Carlos
The
Mencia
Carlos-
shit.
all right, yeah.
No one steals. There's a thing called
And
like
I
the,
understand that.
so when
I
you're
understand
legitimately taking someone's shit, that's why like you don't
Put
see
back
Amy
in the-
Schumer no more.
that. Because I know where you're going, and I'm not saying you're wrong. You're 100% right. But I want to throw a little curveball. Do you not like? And this is just because of my aspect. I feel this way. Do you
Okay.
not feel that way when you hear rappers and they use, even if it's only a bar, and you know that bar came from probably 10 years ago from another person, or it's somewhat cadence of reference?
Okay, I do, but
And
do you think
I'm not saying any
I'm-
arguments with it. I'm
No,
just
no,
for
no, I'm
conversation.
saying-
Yeah.
I don't think it's the same, but
Okay.
I'm gonna ask to you, do you think that's out of homage?
No,
Like where you're
it's
trying to
not.
do like you say
I
a
know
Biggie
it's
lyric?
not out of homage. That's why I bring it up. It's
So
I'm
then-
gonna steal your shit because I don't know. How
Okay,
to
so
flip
then
this
in that
shit into
aspect,
this.
because
Yeah.
when I listen to music, I feel like it's an homage to something. Like when you say a Biggie or Tupac lyric, it's like homage to them because everyone knows those lyrics.
Because
but if you're
those
saying
lyrics
like
make
no,
you
it's a
very
steal,
simplistic. Yeah.
then fuck you because it's like you're not talented enough to come up with your own fucking lyric in this little spot, this little pocket.
But all right. I'll give you an example, and I'll play it for you after we're done with this shit. When Game first came out, there's a lot of shit into it. I'm not gonna go that deep, but he wasn't a great music writer. So when his first album came out, that's why 50 worked with him so much. That's why a lot of shit. So if you listen to the song with him and M, you'll hear M's verse. Actually, you hear Game's verse, then you hear M's. Then Game comes back and he does his verse.
Mhm.
But then that verse, if you don't really listen, you miss the whole part where Game literally says, like, I'm gonna steal your flow now. I'm gonna steal everything M just did on the second verse,
Mm.
and I'm gonna do it my way and the way I do it. But it made the song fire. But the thing is that because he doesn't have a cadence of a pocket, he doesn't know how to flow in a certain way. It's like right now I have a kid that I'm listening to that a joke is that they call him like they say he's one of Kendrick's voices that got away and grew a body.
Okay.
If you listen to Kendrick, you know that he has different sounds.
Yeah.
This kid does it, and he's almost
Some people
and they
are
work
mimics.
together. And it's weird, but it's like a weird mimic where it's like I don't hate it. I like certain songs. Certain songs I don't really. I'm like, but it's like a weird thing. So it's like in that aspect,
But they say
I've
that,
always been like 50-50, but it's hard. Like I will sit here all day and like I'll go on YouTube and pull up like Jay-Z pulling every Biggie verse throughout his run of being who he is.
But he does that on purpose.
No, they didn't make a song about it. They leaked that aspect. The song was Cam dissing Jay.
Yeah, that's
and
what I'm
then
saying.
after that, they leaked that thing because they had to break it down because nobody wanted to accept it when Cam said it on the song when he was like, "Nigga, you're stealing Big's verses," and everybody was like, "Oh, that's bullshit."
Yeah,
so
but
then
there's
they
a
started
whole
to show
thing
it.
where he says certain
Yeah.
things that that Big and his family have copyrighted, and he'll say them, so he has to pay their family. It's his way of kind of like
I haven't heard anything about that, so
giving
I don't really know. Yeah.
giving to Big's family.
Okay,
like
that sounds weird to me, honestly. From coming from Jay, listen, I'm not a stan, and I'm gonna be honest. Like, yeah, he does some good shit, but in that pocket of that doesn't sound like something that like he would do if he did that. I felt like it would be in that hip hop world that I follow.
Yeah.
That they would be like, yo, you see how real Jay is? That he's giving money to Big's family every time he steal a fucking quote. And it's like, nigga, but when we talk about the music, then don't talk to me about how he could freestyle off the top of the head and he could just do a verse like nothing.
All right, but
you know what I mean? Like
on your aspect,
Yeah.
I say it like this because this is one of the things I like 100% agree on with Joe Rogan, where it's kind of like there's a thing in comedy called parallel thinking, where you might have heard it because you're around other comedians, so you might have heard it and you just like didn't know that you're intaking it. Then there's blatant stealing.
Yeah.
And it was just like when you blatantly steal, this is why Carlos Mencia is where? Nowhere.
No,
After the Joe Rogan thing, it killed his career because not only Joe Rogan came out, Artie Shafir came out.
A lot of people he did interviews trying to defend himself.
Who was
and he
that?
fucked
Who was
it
that
up.
guy that we saw on Reno 911 today? The Spanish guy.
Oh, shit, I can't remember his name.
I can't remember his name, but
But when he got popular, there is a thing where he snuffed Carlos Mencia for taking his shit. Lopez, George Lopez.
Yeah.
So it was just like it's not known. It's not that, and I'm saying him specifically. I'm not saying like Dennis Leary. I think that's the only thing I heard about Dennis Leary.
No modern person will be Carlos Mencia over Dennis Leary.
Yeah. So it was just kind of like the thing is with me, like you could relate it to rappers, I guess, but I always took it like when a rapper saying it is almost like an homage. But in comedy, there's no homage because it's not like, hey, I'm gonna take exactly what Richard Pryor, George Carlin, Sam Kinison, Bill Hicks. If you because
they didn't say like because it's something I'm not saying rappers don't go word for word. They use like they're gonna go word, and then maybe switch slightly, which what I would consider the comedian.
If you look at Jeff, all right. So if you take a same aspect, and this is the shitty version, like they'll say like shitty comic book. So it was like, what's up with the food on the airplane kind of bullshit. Like that's a stupid
Jerry
joke.
Seinfeld aspect. Yeah.
So it's kind of like 4 different comics could have 4 different jokes about food on an airplane.
Mhm.
The fact of the matter is, what comics do, it's cadence, it's language, and it's word, and sometimes it's exactly word for word, because knowing, you've been to the comedy clubs with me.
Yeah.
Sometimes the word for word is what makes the room pop.
Nah, it does.
So it does, character and all this stuff. So with the thing with Carlos Mencia, it was like Joe Rogan just ripped him. He was just like, "You're not even Mexican, you're Ecuadorian and German, and you change your name to Carlos Mencia when it's Ned Flanderson or something." So it was just like, you're 100% fake. You change yourself to Carlos Mencia, and you're doing all this Mexican thing. And I remember him on Def Jam. I remember him in the whole like the jean suit shit,
all right.
and doing like putting the stocking over his face, doing like robbing jokes. You're doing all this shit that's not you, and that's what's being fake. When you have like a Sam Kinison, if you know the guy that yells like, "Oh wow, wow," if anyone did any of his jokes like him, then it's kind of like you just took someone who was 100% original. He got famous off of what he did. He was a preacher, and then he switched up. He said that he was a preacher not because he believed in God, but he started learning how like to manipulate people, and that's how he became a comedian. He took what he learned from being a preacher to become a comedian, and he was raw. And it's the same thing like Richard Pryor. The reason why he's one of the greatest is because he took his personal life. The reason why George Carlin is one of the greatest, he was forgot what they call it, where
like a political analyst.
He talked. He's not just politics, but everything. Bill Hicks was another one.
Social commentary.
Yeah, there you go. Social commentary.
But I agree. I'm not saying like one, you're not wrong. But the thing is, like, I was gonna say, I don't know, because I don't know how much you go into it. Like, I know I'm fucking how I am with music, so I could say like when I go through it, like, do you actually catch it? Like, can you catch when you watch a comedian do a joke and be like, I've heard this before?
I could, yeah.
Okay.
And because there's certain things, and again, it's cadence and all that's like, and I'll just give a quick example because I know we're gonna shut this down. We've been going on for long.
Yeah.
But George Carlin has a famous thing called like the 10 words that you can't say,
that.
whatever.
Yeah.
And then every like special he would add on to those words. So it's like
take one off.
Or take one off, like, yeah, this one's better. Like, we could say this now, but we put this on the list. So if someone were to do, like, say someone had parallel thinking in a sense, or just took that, he's dead now, fuck it, I could take it, then everyone would know, especially when you get popular like that. Like,
yeah, but no,
come on, man. Like, you're fucking doing it.
That's the reason why I listen to, like, I guess the comedians, because I like the raw, like, real shit when they talk about their life or more common shit going on right now.
That's why I like,
it's more real, like it's more fucking fresh.
That's why I like the Cellar, because they try new shit when we're there. That's why it's not like I'm gonna do my routine. It's, you know what, I'm getting a special, I'm writing new things. If it works, it works. If it doesn't. I've been there when not just a Comedy Cellar, but places where comedy, you don't get a laugh sometimes, and they take that note in their head, boop, that doesn't work. Okay. And they'll even say it. Okay, that didn't work. Next one. And then blah, blah, and then they'll try to make it funny, you know.
No, but that's what makes that shit work. Like, those are 2 of my favorite arts. As I'm gonna just end my shit because I gotta go pee. Fucking honestly, like, that's why the conversation, because I was looking at it more as a live and performance shit. I could get a lot more in detail than this conversation.
Yeah, we could go deep.
But I'm not gonna do this. But I'm just gonna, I guess I'll do the sign off because I'm talking already.
Yeah, so
it's me, your boy, Andrew, Marissa, Nick. It's Sight Beyond Sight. You already know what it is. YouTube,
like, follow, subscribe.
Twitter, like, follow, subscribe. That made me feel dirty. I need $1 to do that next time. So yeah, like, yo, just follow, holla. You actually will have fun because you just have fun. That's what we do.
So,
peace.
Have a good one.